This game and the streaming broadcast rights to this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the North Catholic Sports Network audience. Any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent of the WPIAL is prohibited.
Trib Live High School Sports Network is the official video and audio streaming partner of the WPIAL. We broadcast over 2,000 sporting events each year and cover 17 sports in over 170 schools. At HSSN, you'll find the latest in high school sports news, live and archive broadcasts, scores, standings, and much more. Trib Live High School Sports Network, your high school sports leader. All season, every season.
And we are coming to you live from the Mars High School football field for this section matchup between the Deer Lakes Lancers and the North Catholic Trojans. Hello and welcome inside the stadium and onto the field. My name is Alex Brown.
And I'm Ryan Berry.
And we are your hosts of the Trojan Game Day Show. We are proud to bring it to you live on the North Catholic Sports Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. We are in front of the field here at Mars High School, and we will be bringing to you in about 30 minutes the start of this senior night matchup between your Trojans and the Lancers. But before we talk about this game, Ryan, let's talk about the Trojan seniors.
Yep, senior night's a big night for them, and I want to mention one stat. 2018, that was the last year that the Trojans had a shutout, and they've had 5 this year. This speaks to how big the seniors have had an impact on this team, Alex.
Because seniors were freshmen back in 2018, and we've seen how they developed over the years. So let's talk about some of those seniors, Ryan.
Yep, quarterback Joey Prentice. He's a leader of this team. He's been a leader all season long. And last year was his first year starting. Now he's starting year 2, and he's made a big impact all year. He's been the signal caller for the Trojans and leading them to a successful season so far.
Absolutely. You got on the ends, you got Andrew Stevens, Tyler Primrose, and Justin Greaser, and that line has been pivotal this year.
It has, Alex. I mean, they've been getting the extra push that the running backs need, and that's kind of helped the running backs have the year that they've had this year.
Because the running game is so crucial, and then you got the defensive players. But before we talk too much more about that, we're going to send it up to the booth. John Benzing is going to kick off our senior night festivities.
Hey, I didn't think I was going to see you. Yeah, how you doing? We're playing on church Sunday too. So. Good. Are you saved up to the end of this, guys? You're on the camera here. Happy to have you all here. We good? We up here? Yeah, you're fine. Okay. 22 seniors. We're going to start with announcing the senior band members. Our first senior this evening is Ellie Armitage, escorted by John Sherry. He's been band for 4 years. School activities include software team and robotics, pit band, jazz band, concert band, high note orchestra, PA. I've never been here before. I might have come in the wrong day. Coming now. Getting a bachelor's degree in Congratulations, Billy.
Prepared, he said.
Our next senior is Lauren Gale.
Yeah, I thought so.
Escorted by Terry and Bill Gale. She's been in band for 4 years. School activities include marching band, varsity women rowing, robotics, national honor society.
My eyes, it's better, yeah. I can see this bubble still. When I look down, but when I look straight.
Congratulations, Lauren.
It gets smaller. They said about a month it'll be gone. Yeah. Oh, but I can see straight. I can drive. but if I want to read, I got to shut my right eye.
Our next
I'm
senior
happy I
is
could
Jesse
see.
Lynch,
Yeah.
escorted by Susan and Dan Lynch. She's been in the band for 8 years.
Now you can see.
Her activities include being a part of the Trojan choir and running for varsity track and field team.
What number is this?
Her future plans include attending a college or university to major in secondary education and minor in psychology. Her favorite band memory was the Pixie Stick Water
It's the
Chug
right color
and
too,
Kansas
isn't it?
softball.
Red.
Congratulations, Jesse.
You know what I'm saying? They're not blue. They're very good.
He doesn't have your legs covered. Oh, no.
This is a home game.
He thought he had red.
Our next senior is Morgan Texter, escorted by her parents Rich and Krista Texter and her sister Mallory. She's been in the band for 4 years. Her activities include marching band and the esports team.
Where's Michelle?
Her future plan is to be a pediatric nurse, continue being in the marching band during her next 4 years of college. Favorite band memory is going to Disney World to perform in Magic Kingdom and growing closer with her friends.
On my phone.
Congratulations, Morgan.
Deer Lake, what's their record?
Your legs?
That's who they're playing.
Our next senior is Andrew Ubinger, escorted by his parents Dave and Lisa.
Rats too, I didn't even know.
Andrew has been running for 9 years.
Yeah.
His school activities include volleyball, captain's club, concert band, and pit orchestra. His future plans are to attend Geneva College to play D3 volleyball, study engineering, and march in the drum line. His favorite band memory is playing in the pit for the musical Little Shop of Horrors. Congratulations, Andrew.
What are they considered? Double A, single A, triple A?
Our next senior is Emily Zackrell, escorted by her parents Eric and Lauren and her siblings Eric and Andy. She's been in the band for 4 years. Her school activities include robotics, marching band, concert band, jazz band, pit orchestra, Latin club, esports, and National Honor Society. Her future plans are to pursue a career in architecture. Her favorite memory is spending time with her friends throughout the seasons. Congratulations, Emily.
How far away do you live from here?
10 minutes.
No kidding.
They're right.
Our next group of seniors will be the class of 2022 senior cheerleaders. Our first is Anna Bulgarian, escorted by mom Pam, her brothers Anthony and Andrew, and sister Abby. Anna's been a cheerleader for 10 years. She participates in cross-country, track and field, and the National Honor Society. Her future plans are to go to college and major in pharmacy. Her favorite cheerleading memory is cheering in the beach during sophomore year. Congratulations, Anna. Our next senior is Faith Benson, escorted by her parents, Gerald, and her siblings. She's been a cheerleader for 11 years. Her school activities include competitive cheerleading, vice president of National Honor Society, junior year student council representative. Her future plans are to attend college and major in international relations. Her favorite cheerleading memory is making my best friends while doing what I love. Congratulations, Faith. Our next senior is Lindsay Kinsilla, escorted by her mom and dad. Number years cheerleading, she's been cheerleading for 8 years. Her future plans include attending the University of Tampa for neonatal nursing. Her favorite memory includes sophomore year cheering, with a friend with a peak, just being so thankful. Congratulations, Lindsay.
Where's the pile at?
Our next senior is Anna Kinsella, escorted by her parents and Megan. Anna has been cheerleading for 3 years. She's involved with the fall and spring shows in the drama department as part of her living and faith experiences as a club leader. Her future plans is to attend college next fall and eventually become a special needs education teacher. Favorite cheerleading memory, hanging out with friends before and after games, watching my parents do the cheers on the stage. Congratulations, Anna.
Well, I'd say the 10 o'clock, but still the 6 weeks that would be random. I think it's the rest of the night after that. That's a pretty nice shape if that's grass, isn't it? Yeah, it looks like dirt.
Our next senior is Gia Cercone, escorted by Christina and John Cercone. She's been cheerleading for a total of 10 years. Her school activities include student council, track and field, captain's club, and world language club. Future plans to attend a 4-year university to major in secondary education with a concentration in history. Her favorite cheer memory is rocking the boat with Marley every Friday and cheering with the same girls since freshman year. Congratulations, Gia. Our next senior is Kelly Lewis, escorted by Susan and Joseph Lewis. She has been a cheerleader for 8 years. Brother activities include making cookies every week for her classmates.
They said he
Future plans Kelly is attending college for elementary education and hopes to teach kindergarten in the future.
No, when you get
Favorite cheer memory
all
is
over
when
the
the
water.
student section changes Kelly's cookies on the first game of the season. Congratulations, Kelly.
He's got a flight disease, so they found out he has a urinary tract infection. Built pump. So it's like, when did you ever hear of a guy getting a urinary tract infection? No. They can't.
Our next senior is Ava Manzer, escorted by John and Roger. She's been participating in cheering for 10 years.
Although I'll probably have to ask you to move that so I can snag up.
Okay.
Future plans to attend college for elementary education. Favorite cheerleading memory is driving to West Virginia for UCA camp with friends, getting lost, and ending up in the middle of nowhere. Congratulations, Ava. Our next senior is Marley Mulvaney, escorted by her parents, Chris and Bill Mulvaney. Marley has been participating in cheers for 6 years. She's a member of the Girls Lacrosse Team, National Honor Society, and the World Language Club. Her future plans to attend a 4-year university to receive my bachelor's degree in business. Her favorite cheerleading memory is rocking a boat with all my friends in each game. Congratulations, Marley. Our next senior is Ava Smith, escorted by her parents, Jeff and Danielle. She's been participating in cheerleading for 8 years. Her school activities include National Honor Honor Society, cheerleading, cheer captain, and track.
Guys leaving.
Her future plans is to go to college for nursing. Favorite cheerleading memory? Getting lost on the way to UCA camp, West Virginia with Ava, Casey, and Marley. Congratulations, Ava.
Right after Christmas. Yeah, we get on, we stay with Jen for a day until we can move in.
Okay.
Might be nice.
And where are you staying? Same place as last
It's near, it's in Houston.
Okay. Yeah.
Our next senior is Casey Wills, escorted by Marguerite and Terry Wills. She's been participating in cheerleading for 13 years. Her school activities include environmental club, environment team, chorus, and National Honor Society. Her future plans are to attend college and major in environmental science. Her favorite cheerleading memory is cheering and rocking the boat in the rain. Congratulations, Casey.
Maybe longer than that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a senior not in attendance today. It's Benjamin Bowman. He's been in band for 4 years. His school activities include robotics, cross country, and mock trial. His future plans are flying to the Air Force Academy. He would like to get a degree in mechanical engineering and enter into the pilot program. His favorite band memory, band bus rides, especially going to Disney. Congratulations, Ben. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on to our football seniors. Our first senior, Joey Prentice, escorted by his parents, John and Lori, and his brother Dante. Joe plans to attend college and play football. And his favorite memory, getting to play on the same team with both his older and younger brothers.
Senior?
Our second senior, Carson Laconi, escorted by his parents, Wendy and Scott Laconi. Carson has played football for 10 years. He also plays lacrosse here at North Catholic. Carson would like to attend college, play football, and study finance or physical therapy. His favorite football memory was beating Quaker Valley at the Stone to advance in the playoffs and all the Thursday night dinners with teammates. Next, Kyle Lipinski, escorted by his grandmother, Teresa Walker, his parents, Kelly and John Lipinski, and Jeffrey Cheatham. Kyle has played football for 4 years. He also plays basketball and runs track. Future plans include getting a degree in business and playing football in college. His favorite football memories are big plays and touchdown scores. Our next senior, Ethan Racinko, escorted by his parents, Chris and Christine. Ethan has played football for 2 years. Outside of school, Ethan plays club soccer and also volunteers as a soccer referee and coach. Future plans to attend college and pursue a degree and a career in marketing. Favorite football memory, going out to eat with teammates after Thursday practices. Next, Tyler Mazzard. He's supported by his parents, Tom and Kelly. Tyler has played football for 12 seasons. Future plans include going to college and becoming a physical therapist. Favorite football memory, celebrating with the team after beating Blackhawk. Our next senior is Liam Strong, escorted by Teresa and Lindsay Strong. Liam has played football for 13 years. Other school activities also include basketball, future plans to play football in college, and major in education. Liam's favorite football memory was scoring his first varsity touchdown as a freshman. Next, Tyler Primrose, escorted by his parents, John and Heather, and his brother Blake. Tyler has played football for 6 seasons and is also a catcher on the North Catholic baseball team. Future plans include attending college, playing football, and majoring in cybersecurity. Favorite football memory? Last year's sophomore game, where he turned in a great defensive performance with 4 sacks, and all the excitement and support of his teammates. Our next senior, Justin Greaser, escorted by his father Patrick and his mother Alma. Justin has played football for 8 years. Future plans, he hopes to attend Penn State University, major in civil engineering. His favorite football memory is playing Ironman football next to his brother on the defensive line.
45 years later,
He was going to get an accident.
so I don't remember that Philly was just a little one-year-old.
Our next senior is Andrew Stevens. Andrew is escorted by his father Scott and his mother Michelle, and his sister Emma. Andrew has played football for 8 seasons. He is named the team captain this year. He is also a returning all-conference guard, a National Honor Society member, and a ping pong club member. Andrew's future includes studying finance and pre-law in college, playing football, and eventually attending law school.
You hug me and you like it.
Favorite football memories are off-season lifting with Coach O'Shea, Thursday dinners with teammates, and beating Blackhawk on his birthday. Our next senior, Lucius Carvella, escorted by his parents Bob and Patty. Lucius has played football for 10 years. He plans to attend college, and his favorite football memory is scoring a touchdown this year against Blackhawk off of a block punt. Next up, J.D. Butler. Supported by his parents, Mike and Sherry, and his sisters. J.D. has played football for 9 seasons, plans to attend college, and his favorite football memory was scoring his first touchdown. Tonight's last, but certainly not least, football senior Robbie Kress. Supported by his parents, Eric and Christine. Robbie has played football for a total of 11 seasons. He also participated in a mission trip to Appalachia. His future plans include college, majoring in business. Robbie's favorite football memory was a pick six against Deer Lake during his junior season. We have one senior not in attendance tonight, Damian Mulhern. Recognition to his parents, Kevin and Carrie. His future plans include real estate and business development. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes the 2022 senior night.
Sorry if I'm harassing you. So this is probably stressful. Yeah, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of our national anthem. And now the North Catholic alma mater.
Is there a reason they're rapping on that camera? Is there a reason there's rapping? What? Alright.
Let's hear it for the North Catholic Trojan Marching Band.
And those are your seniors from cheer, band, and football. Now, Ryan, let's talk about this game.
Yep, they've got to play a clean, disciplined game here against
Deer Lakes.
Don't let them have a chance to get in this game. Don't let them think for a second they have a chance in this game. Come out right from the start, play discipline, no stupid penalties, and get the ball in the end zone to start.
I think another thing you got to do is get the run game going. When that run game is going, this offense is humming. When the offense is humming, it has to have the blocking up front. The blocking has to be good. You got to do the little things right, as you said, Ryan. You got to do the little things right. The snaps have been a problem in recent games, especially against East Allegheny. You got to get the snaps right, little things right. You're going to win this game against Deer Lakes, because this Deer Lakes team gives up some points.
Yep, hopefully they can keep this undefeated record going and have a good game today and get a nice W.
And with that, let's send it up to the booth. Darren Lyles, Sean Malone on the call. It's all yours, guys.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Week 7 of the WPIAL football season. We are coming to you from the Mars Athletics Complex in Mars, PA. Your North Catholic Trojans meet the Deer Lakes Lancers in this Class 3A Allegheny 7 conference matchup right here on the North Catholic Sports Network and Trib Live High School Sports Network. Hello, everyone. I'm Sean Malone alongside Darren Lyles, Ryan Berry, and Alex Brown. The Trojans enter this evening's game after a road victory last Friday at South Park and improving their overall record to 7-0 overall, 3-0 in conference. The Trojans look to extend their winning streak here tonight on senior night. On the other side of the field, the Lancers come in at 3-4 overall, 3-1 in conference after losing last week at home to Burrell by a score of 28-24. Tonight's Allegheny 7 conference matchup will have a big impact on the final standings as we are edging closer to the end of the regular season. And Darren, we've got two defenses that have been pretty impressive so far on the season here in this game between Deer Lakes and North Catholic.
Oh, absolutely. What could be said about the North Catholic defense this year, averaging only 4.4 points a game given up. I believe it is how many shutouts we have this year. I believe 5 shutouts. So it's going to be a very interesting game on the defensive side of the ball. I'm really curious to see how much dominance can North Catholic do. I know it sounds crazy, Sean. I'm curious to see if Deer Lakes can even string 2 consecutive first downs together. Because if you're really looking at Deer Lakes' schedule and you look at their results, they've only broken double digits 3 times this year. And that includes the 49-0 victory over Derry, who happens to be giving up 56 points a game. So I'm really curious to see if North Catholic can continue this and defensive dominance. Because if you even look at North Catholic's schedule, if you only take the AAA opponents, they're averaging a little closer to 2.3 points a game. So it's a complete dominance this year. I want to see if they can continue that against a team on paper that looks like it struggles on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, that's a great point, Darren. The 5 out of the 6 conference matchups, North Catholic has shut out their opponent. In our game notes, it said that North Catholic, before this season, has not had a shutout since 2018. That is really surprising to me, because they've had decent defenses over the past couple years, but it really, I think, puts into perspective how dominant this year's defense has been. And you've got to have more than just your starters on defense if you're going to pitch a shutout, because the North Catholic offense is no slouch either, and they've got games in the mercy rule, and you're sending in your second string, your JV players often in these games, and those players are doing excellent on defense and pitching shutouts as well.
Absolutely, and also if you've been paying attention all year, Sean, a lot of the scores they've given up has been kind of fluky. I mean, at East Allegheny, we had a guy who just broke 3 tackles out of nowhere, and it seems like the defense just kind of stopped on the play. We had a safety, some fumbled snaps. So you really haven't seen a lot of sustained drives. I mean, please don't quote me on this stat, but I think, honestly, you might only see 3 multiple first down drives a game against this North Catholic defense, per game. Teams don't string successful plays together against them. So, and they're not giving up the big plays this year. If you follow the last couple of years, they've seemed to give up a big touchdown, a bug for giving up the big play. It seems like they're a lot more disciplined on the back end of things, and they're not giving up those fluky touchdowns that, would cost a shutout. Now, they're making teams earn every yard.
Yeah, I'll try to keep track of how many drives Deer Lakes has tonight where they get more than 1 first down. And we can see if they get any. Maybe if Deer Lakes is struggling as much as you think, they might not get any of those in the first half. And then Deer Lakes is really going to have to rely on their defense. But Deer Lakes has won 3 conference games. So this is a matchup between North Catholic leading the conference and Deer Lakes at second place in the conference. Freeport is there at 2-0. And I assume North Catholic has not played Freeport yet this season.
No, that is next week, Sean.
So next week, that's going to be a big matchup, and that's going to be at Freeport. So we're not going to be able to carry that game for you on the live stream here. But hopefully Freeport will have some way for you to watch that game. And we are getting close to starting the action tonight from Mars Athletics Complex on a senior night. A lot of seniors, not only on the football team, but also on the band and the cheerleading squad. It's always a special night on senior night. Do you remember anything from your senior night, Darren?
It's strange. It's like one of those moments, and I don't know if you feel the same way, Sean, like, your wedding, your senior night, some of these big moments in life, it's almost like a blur. Like you have, like, fading memories of it, but you just remember being out there on the field with your parents, and you remember hearing what they're saying about you, then it's like, oh, wow, it's over. So, I mean, it's always a great memory. It's kind of a surreal moment when you're like, I'm here. I put the work in these 4 years. I'm being honored, and it's also kind of sad because this is getting close to the end, especially if you're not going to play at the next level. So, like I said, very surreal moment when you're on that field as a senior, saying your goodbyes, getting your last moment in the sun.
Yeah, and it's always a nice feeling if you win whatever senior night game you're playing. So hopefully everybody on the team here can get a win for the seniors. But the seniors have a lot to say about that because there's a lot of seniors at key positions for the Trojans. And North Catholic is going to kick off in just a second. North Catholic in its home red uniforms, the scarlet red, gold pants, gold numbers on the back, gold helmets with scarlet helmets with a gold Trojan on it. Deer Lakes is in white with yellow helmets. The Deer Lakes Lancers, which is one of my favorite nicknames probably in the conference. I think it's pretty unique.
Oh, it is. One thing to point out, Sean, it looks like Ethan Marsico is doing the kicking off duties. Like maybe they're giving Daniel Long finally a play off to catch his breath, Mr. Do It All. So see how he takes those duties.
And Marsico boots it away. It lands at the 14-yard line. Deer Lakes picks it up, running it up the middle, and getting tackled by a bunch of Trojans at about the 33-yard line is number 2, Cody Scarantine. And they're going to give Marsico a credit on the tackle there.
I mean, just remember, Marsico isn't just a kicker. He does have an offensive and defensive position. Well, sometimes you see a lot of soccer players just go out there. They've never been on a football field outside of kicking the ball. So, sometimes it does make you feel a little better on kick coverage as a guy that's had to make a tackle before.
Okay, Deer Lakes is going to start in the shotgun, and it's going to be a handoff to Scarantine. He's going out to the left side, and he is met pretty quickly.
He got popped there by Joey Prentice.
What did you say?
Popped.
What is a pop?
That's a nice hard hit.
Yeah.
A lot of times they say that the pads are popping. You hear that cracking sound. That's what they say. They got popped.
So Joey Prentice with a tackle after a gain of maybe 1.5 yards, and Deer Lakes is going to have 3 wide receivers, quarterback in the shotgun, Scarantine probably back there behind him. Quarterback's going to throw it out to, that was Josh Jordan, hanging onto the ball as he was hit by Prentice. Nice catch by Jordan.
Yeah, it seems like Deer Lakes might be trying to do a little bit of misdirection, some short passing game, taking those short gains to kind of take away some of that pass rush. Because we've seen this year how the North Catholic defensive line has just wreaked havoc on most of the offensive lines they've played against. So to kind of negate that a little bit, get the ball out of the hands of your quarterback quickly, don't let him get hit by the defensive line.
And there's a 3rd and 5, which is manageable for Deer Lakes, I would say. You can get a pass off that goes 5 yards fairly quickly before the pass rush can get there. But it's going to be a handoff to Scarantine. He goes to his left, and there's absolutely no room there. He's met by several different Trojans. Who do you think made that tackle, Darren?
That looked like a host of Trojans, if I'm being honest. It was a whole group gang tackle, which is what you want to see on the defensive side of the ball.
Going to be a 4th and 5 for Deer Lakes, and they're going to punt it away. So 1 drive for Deer Lakes, and it's a 3 and out.
Yep. It looked like on that last play, maybe they were trying to see if they could catch North Catholic being a little over-aggressive, going with that nice outside handoff, see if you catch them getting upfield, find some running lanes. But North Catholic stays disciplined and makes the tackle for no gain.
Straub is back to receive the punt. North Catholic has had a lot of special teams touchdowns this year. It's a pretty short punt. It bounces at about the 38-yard line and rolls another 10 yards to the 28-yard line, which is where the North Catholic offense will pick up when we start in just about a minute. Jack Fennell will start the game in the backfield. We saw a lot of Kyle Topinski there our last broadcast 3 weeks ago against East Allegheny. He is in the slot right now, and there are 4 wide receivers for North Catholic. Prentice gets the ball, fakes the Fennell, keeps it up the middle. Swim move around a couple people, legs churning for Prentice, and he's going to have his momentum stopped at about the 37-yard line, 2 yards shy of the first down.
Interesting to see, as we get later into the season, how much they try to utilize Prentice's legs. Yes, it's such a huge part of the offense, but he has been dealing with that ankle injury throughout the year. So is it going to be a position where you try to run your offense and try to get some points on the board and pull him out, or maybe try to protect him a little bit, be more conservative with those usages of the quarterback runs?
From what I've seen of North Catholic, I'd like to see him in there maybe throwing a little bit more because I think you're going to need his arm and his legs to beat the better teams in the playoffs if North Catholic wants to get where they're going this year. Quick pass to Kyle Spinski, and some guy just bounced off of Kyle there.
Yeah, that was a very good stiff arm there. Throws that defender to the turf. I mean, there's a reason why Kyle Topinski has offers from Bowling Green and Toledo already. A very good physical specimen, 6'3"-ish, 220 pounds, good hands, 4.4 speed on the outside. That's why those guys go to the Division I level. They're prime athletes, and that's why you want to put sometimes an athlete like Kyle Topinski in a slot to try to get the ball to his hands in some space.
Prentice gets the snap, pulls it back, gives it to Topinski to in, and Topinski is just barely tripped up and slams the ball to the turf. He thought he could have got a lot bigger of a gain there, and he's going to get flagged for that.
Yeah, it goes under a spike. I know it wasn't taunting or intentional. He was just frustrated, thinking he should broke the tackle there, but sometimes you got to use your head a little bit better there and realize, especially at the high school level, they're a lot more strict on those types of things. So that's going to cost them 15 right there, and that's sad to see a mistake already for the North Catholic offense that seems to be rolling right now.
And this has been the kind of thing that really jams up the gears for the Trojans, whether it's a false start. It could be a silly mental error there from Topinski. A lot of North Catholic drives, I think, this year have ended because of negative plays, whether those are penalties or bad snaps. And we'll see what happens here. I guess they call it a delay of game, so it's only
a 5-yard penalty.
Is it first and second and 3? There's still a 1 on the down marker.
Yeah, I believe it should be a first and 15. I would think, being he had the first down yardage, I believe.
So maybe it was a 15-yard gain on first down, and they've brought the ball back, and so they've made it a first and 5.
I mean,
or
if it's a dead
first
ball
and 10
foul,
from the 40.
it's from the line of gain, and you take it back 5, and that line of gain should have been the first down marker. So it should be first and 15. I don't know. Look, maybe it appears to be a first and 10, maybe. Okay, no, first and 10.
I'm not really sure what happened there. Maybe it should be first and 15.
Yeah,
but,
it seems like
it looks like we're going to roll with a first and 10. And Prentice in the shotgun. He's going to give it to Fennell. Fennell's got a lot of room to the outside. He cuts to the inside. He's got a first down and more. Fennell gets down to the 25-yard line. Good run there from Jack Fennell.
Yep, nice explosion from Jack Fennell. Nice to see him get on the edge there, using that speed on an outside run. You definitely want to see Jack Fennell getting going. A couple of the broadcasts we've done, he seemed to be stymied a little bit. Really haven't gotten that rhythm. And a lot of times you hear about running backs getting into that rhythm, getting those carries, start feeling your legs. They get better as the game goes on if they're finding some success. So it'd be really nice, for this North Catholic offense to get Fennell going, get him in that groove, get him kind of maybe carry the offense during this game.
And I think a referee delicately placed a flag on the 34-yard line, and I'm not sure what the play is. He just dropped it on the ground.
It appears to be a holding call.
You're right, Darren. It is holding on North Catholic, and that will erase that first down.
Hate to say it, here we go again, Sean. You hate to see this on the first drive, especially as you get closer to the end of the season. You really want to tighten things up. You want to make teams beat you, not beat yourself, especially in playoff football. So you're really hoping as this game goes on that they really show a little bit more discipline, play a little bit of a cleaner game, get in that habit as we move to the last couple games of the year.
First and about 13 from the 44-yard line. North Catholic needs to just get just inside the 31. And there's going to be a fumbled exchange between Prentice and Fennell. And Deer Lakes is excitedly pointing towards their end of the field. And let's see what the refs say. And the refs say it is Deer Lakes' ball at midfield. And there it is again, Darren. Another mistake by North Catholic.
Yeah, you gotta have clean, something simple like a handoff. You have to be able to do it clean. I know there's a lot of traffic at those mesh points with these spread offenses and people moving, and you have to be able to field a snap and hand it off. But that's something you have to do. It's especially as you get week 8 right now. We have to be able to hit those things cleanly. Right now on paper, North Catholic looks like a far superior team. I still feel confident that you're easily going to overcome this mistake. But you get into a WPIAL semifinal game, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly there, Darren. But again, the pressure is on North Catholic's defense to stymie Deer Lakes, and Deer Lakes has good field position. It's going to be a handoff to Scarantine, and he's met pretty soon after he gets the ball for no gain.
Yep, great penetration by the defensive line. Every play so far they've ran the ball. You see a North Catholic defensive lineman 1, 2, 3 yards deep into the backfield. It definitely looks like they're going to win the game in the trenches right now. And like I said, that's one of the most important things on a defensive front. Win that game in the trenches, kind of limit what the other offense can do.
And North Catholic, it looks like Deer Lakes is running to the left side of the North Catholic line. Mitch Landfaller is over there, Daniel Long, and they've been getting into a lot of They've been getting in on a lot of tackles so far.
I've been seeing some great penetration right up the middle by Lucius Marabella too.
We have a flag in the backfield. It's going to be a false start on Deer Lakes. So Deer Lakes now shoots themselves in the foot on offense, getting a 2nd and 15, and that's not a down and distance you want to be in against North Catholic.
No, I mean, the last thing you want to do is let these pass rushers pin their ears back and keep it into a 3rd and long and let them just go after the quarterback. You have to keep these 3rd and manageables if you want to move the ball against North Catholic. It simply just has to be done that way.
Second and 15. About 6:50 left in the first quarter, 0-0 game. Scarantine up the middle, and he doesn't have any room to run up the middle either. It's about a gain of 2 yards.
Once again, defensive line, Seamus Straub, Lucius Marabella going in there to make that play.
Yeah, Lucius Marabella, who is one of the seniors tonight, has had a pretty exciting season, I would say. He was just dominant against East Allegheny in the last broadcast we did against an undersized center. And his favorite senior moment was scoring that lineman touchdown that we were so excited about. I think that was against, was that Blackhawk, I think? That was the game when he scored? So. And here's the North Catholic pass rush, and the quarterback is flattened.
He got hit by a freight train. Got that as known as Kyle Topinski. I wouldn't want Kyle Topinski having a 5 to 6 yard head start run and hitting me. And especially, and I'm a decent sized guy, Sean. I don't think someone that's not as big would like to feel that good.
Yeah, their quarterback is a sophomore who's 6'1", 190, which is pretty good size for a high school player. But as we've mentioned, Kyle is 6'2", 215 he was listed in a Trib article. So that's
and there isn't much fat on that frame. It's pretty lean 215.
And here's a very short punt from Deer Lakes. It's going to land on the 40 and really take a nice bounce, about 15 or 16 yards, and it goes inside the 25-yard line to the 24. And that's where North Catholic will pick it up, hoping to have a better, cleaner offensive possession than they had last time.
Yeah. I do like, though, what I saw in the last drive is North Catholic taking a couple more shots. We've definitely seen in a lot of their games, they kind of do a feeling out process, a lot of those outside handoffs, those QB keepers, keeping it more on the ground, seeing how people are reacting. I think some of the talent you have, it's not a bad idea to throw the ball a little bit more, throw it more downfield, and see what if you can find some big plays.
Both the early throws were to Kyle Topinski in the slot, which is never a bad idea either. Here's just a straight handoff to Fennell. He's going to not quite get to the outside. Great tackle by, I think that's
Connor
number 12, Aiden Fletcher.
Oh, 12, Hayden Fletcher. Yeah, great job by the cornerback there to get off his block. I thought there was going to be a lane for Fennell to cut up and possibly make a big game, but gets off his block and breaks down and makes that tackle. So averting a big play for Deer Lakes there.
Yeah, Fennell can get to the outside. He's got a lot of room to run there. Tyler Maziars, who's normally an excellent blocking wide receiver. So Fletcher must have done a really nice move to get away from Maziars there. 2nd and 11. Prentice is under center, which we almost never see.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a timeout from North Catholic.
Yeah, it looks like they switched that power set with Kyle Topinski back there, so kind of testing out some maybe new things.
During this timeout, we would like to remind you that whether you need a business headshot, family portrait, or you just want to remember that toothless grin of your 6-year-old, Dina Koenig Photography is at your service. Dina specializes in capturing the beauty of your family and creating customized wall art to decorate your home. Dina Koenig Photography is the official photographer of North Catholic Athletics. So the Trojans offense will get back out there, and it looks like Prentice is going to be under center again. As you said, power set with Kyle Topinski. This is something new that we've seen here. Handoff to Topinski. He's got a big hole there. And he's going to get out to about a first down, and there's
going to be a flag for a face
mask as Topinski's helmet was almost ripped off.
Interesting set there. I mean, we haven't seen North Catholic outside of goal line situations go under center. Also, we've seen that 2 tight end set, but they've kind of gone with a classic ace, a tight end and wide receiver on each side. This time we've seen the twins ace, which both wide receivers on one side of the ball. There's some interesting things you could do there with some route combos and of the like. So I'm kind of interested to see how they branch off of this under center set, how much they'd like to use it in the future. Because it is kind of a challenge if you've been in the shotgun most of the year. Having that snap and getting used to those different steps as a passer and as a running back. But it does give a different dynamic to the North Catholic offense. Something else teams have to prepare for and get ready. As we saw, a very successful run with Kyle Topinski.
Yeah, when we did the Blackhawk game, one of the things that made that game close and impressed us about Blackhawk was their ability to switch between offenses. They ran the ball for much of the game, and then when they were down and they needed points quick at the end, they switched to a spread offense with quick passes and their 2 6'4" wide receivers. It'd be great to see North Catholic have more versatility in terms of the type of offenses that they run, and lining Prentice up under center, I think, gives you that. Yeah. This time it's going to be Fennell in the backfield, that same power set, 2 wide receivers out to the right. Prentice hands it off to Fennell. Fennell's going to squirt up the middle for maybe a yard, just inside to Deer Lake's territory.
Yeah, I mean, one of those things, not every run's going to be 10 yards, but if you stay consistent with those runs and they're still getting some yardage, it also opens up the play-action pass. And me personally, I think an under center play action pass is a little more effective. You have that, it's easier to sell. The quarterback turns his back, the line fires out than someone just pretending to have a sidecar handoff out of the shotgun. So, I mean, sometimes you can really open up the passing lanes with an under center play action pass.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if they turn to that play action, but now we're back in the traditional shotgun for a 2nd and 9. Prentice is going to fake the handoff, keep the ball, and throw it to Daniel Long, who stumbles and rumbles inside the 40-yard line for a first down.
He seemed to stumble for like a solid 10-yard more after I thought he was going down, but nice little tricky play there. Get Daniel Long out in space, kind of sneak him under the formation, get the ball under big tight end's hands, let him rumble a little bit. Nice game by the Trojan offense there.
Yeah, a lot of versatility again for North Catholic. That's not a play we've seen a lot this year. The fake handoff to the quick pass to the tight end. So North Catholic really trying to practice new plays on offense here. This time it's just an outright run to Fennell. He makes one guy miss. He makes 2 guys miss. And he's going to get a nice gain out of 5 yards there. What could have been a no-gain play, Fennell turns into 5 yards.
Yeah, very nice shiftiness there, but there is a flag on the play. Sean, sometimes on some of those plays where you see a guy kind of stop in his tracks and change direction and sometimes go kind of behind your block that you have, it's sometimes second nature to kind of just hold on for a second. If you're positioned your body between the defender and the back, you're blocking, all of a sudden, he goes the other way. You're like, oh, I don't want to just give up this block. So it's second nature trying to protect your back out there and hold on. Oh, actually, it's horse collar tackle.
The referee is pointing towards the North Catholic side of the field.
I don't know if it was what happened there, if it was a late hit or, face
some
mask
sort
or
of
personal
foul on North Catholic. And again, a good offensive drive has the potential to be stalled by a penalty. In the previous drive, it was a holding. In this drive, it's a personal foul. And let's see if North Catholic can somehow recover from this. It's 1st and 19, all the way back at the 47-yard line. They've got to get inside the 30 to the 26. Prentice catches a high snap, throws it out to Topinski quick. Topinski shoves the guy to the ground, bounces off another tackler, and no one is going to catch Kyle Topinski. He's in the end zone.
What a play by Kyle Topinski. Sean, you know what they sometimes refer to as a stiff arm? They call it a baptism. Shoving that guy down, gets him off him, uses that 4-4 speed. Just a highlight reel play, giving all the talents Kyle Topinski has with the power, the speed, all right there. And great adjustment by Joey Prentice. Had that high snap, really couldn't carry out the play action fake, but was able to just kind of flip it out to Kyle Topinski and let him do the rest.
Yeah, that was a really impressive run from Topinski. He made 2 people miss, and the third player never had a chance. He just turned on that speed that he has, which is so impressive in someone his size. Marsico is going to try to kick the extra point. It is up and right through the middle of the uprights. That PAT is good by Marsico. And North Catholic takes a 7-0 lead a little bit later than we would have liked in this first quarter. But nevertheless, on their second drive, North Catholic on the board with 2:16 left.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of big plays this year from North Catholic offense. Sometimes that's been kind of their only spark. But, it's good to have that ability to have big plays. There's a lot of offenses out there that are simply 3 yards in cloud or dust or dink and dunk, and it's really hard for them to come back into a game if they are down. Knowing that you have someone like Kyle Topinski where you just flip a ball out to him and he breaks 2 tackles and then goes for a touchdown, it's very nice to have. And that's kind of the beauty of putting someone like Kyle Topinski out in the slot, is because you create a one-on-one matchup away from a lot of that traffic, and that's a matchup you feel good about.
Yeah, he definitely won the one-on-one matchup. And then
Twice.
Twice. You've mentioned that North Catholic gang tackling, right? Often there's more than one North Catholic player in on a tackle. Topinski not only won the one-on-one matchup, he won it so quickly the other Lancers couldn't get there, because you're probably going to need more than one person to tackle Kyle. Marsico boots it away again. A much better kick, and it goes out at the 1-yard line.
A little bit of bad luck there for the Trojans.
And that's going to give Deer Lakes pretty good starting field position. Well, so far, to your prediction of Deer Lake struggling to get first downs, in 2 drives in the first quarter, they have a grand total of 0 first downs. So North Catholic continuing its defensive dominance. If you missed us talking before the game, North Catholic allowing 4.4 points per game, which is the best in any of the 6 classifications in the Whippeal. Scarantine is out there. Robbie Kress sealed the edge, and then a bunch of Trojans came in and tackled
Great
Scarantine.
play by Robbie Kress there. I mean, he didn't come up with the tackle, but when you as a linebacker are able to take on a pulling guard and then drive him back into the running back, stymie him, forcing him to find another lane, that's going to be a successful play. All right, so that was just a great play by Robbie Kress, and basically slows up the runner to let the rest of North Catholic defense catch up. So, I mean, we're seeing great penetration. Just a solid pushback almost every play by that front 7 of North Catholic.
.130 left here in the first quarter. About Deer Lakes in the shotgun. One of the cheerleaders has just been flipping for about 40 yards. That was pretty impressive. Down on the sideline. And there's a timeout. I think that was Deer Lakes right there.
Yeah, I believe it's Deer Lakes. I mean, early in the game, you kind of have what you think is your game plan. And then obviously, as you see the game move on and you see different matchups and different looks that the defense and or offense can show you, coaches try to make their adjustments. So obviously, as this game goes on, it's going to be even harder for the North Catholic defense because they're going to try to find out different avenues they can to try to move the ball, whether it be moving the pocket or maybe quick passing game or certain alignments or formations that might give those coverages trouble. So but once again, once you're seeing that great penetration, when you're seeing linemen get pushed back 2-3 yards every play, there's only so much scheming you could do. So let's see if the defensive line can continue that dominance as the game moves on.
Yeah, Deer Lakes has tried running the ball to the left, running the ball to the middle, and running the ball to the right, and they've all came up with the same result, which is no gain. So maybe Deer Lakes will try to go more to the passing game here. They've got 3 wide receivers, and there's going to be some sort of penalty. North Catholic is pointing at Deer Lakes, and Deer Lakes is getting up dejectedly, so I think they probably know the penalty's
I'd be a
on
little
them.
jumpy too trying to block that front 7, so trying to get a little head start to maybe give them a better chance there. One thing I'm interested to see as the game goes on is I do want to see if Deer Lakes will try to attack those cornerbacks of North Catholic. Being Chase Arrington is hurt this week. I believe he's not going to play as far as I've heard. So obviously, he's been a very dominant press corner out there. So maybe try to go out after his replacement if you can, if you have the time to throw the ball, if that is.
Yeah, that is the real variable in the equation for teams that want to throw on North Catholic is they just haven't had the time. Yeah, the cornerbacks tonight are Tyler Maziarz. He split wide right, and Liam Straub is on the left here. And here is a handoff up the middle. Scarantine is met immediately by Seamus Straub.
Once again, great penetration by the front 7 of North Catholic. One thing I'm noticing today, I'm really happy to see, Sean, is that a lot of our broadcasts, we seem like guys slip out of that first tackle. It always seems like it's the second guy. And obviously, they're swarming, so it's not a big deal sometimes. But it really looks like that first guy is getting there, really stopping all progress and letting the rest of the team clean it up. We're not seeing those 1-2 extra yards in a lot of those plays with guys kind of squirming out of tackles.
That might be a product of the fact that we're not playing a quarterback like East Allegheny had, who was just incredibly slippery. Deer Lakes, at your right, has not gotten out of tackles. Bobbled snap, and Liam Straub, great technique there as he bats the pass away. He had the inside shoulder really well covered of that receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're noticing right now Deer Lakes in the passing game, they're really kind of limited to like what's called classic under center 3-step drop or out of shotgun, quick passing. Like, it really limits the route combos they could do. So you're really kind of stuck to like man beater routes because you don't really have the time to run deep zone beating route combinations or anything really that takes time to develop. It's pretty much get the ball in your hand, just take a step and throw.
Better punt this time from Deer Lakes, and it's just going to be like a pitching wedge and stop right where it hits, just about at midfield, and that's where North Catholic will take over with 19.2 seconds left in the first quarter. Probably gives us one more play. In between the first and second quarters, we're going to go down on the field to Alex Brown, who's going to tell you about the great success that the North Catholic boys golf team has had this fall. So stay tuned in between the first and the second quarters to hear Alex's update. It should be pretty exciting to hear him talk about what the golf team did. But we have at least one play, maybe more. before we get to that point. Prentice, as always, in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers for him. Jack Fennell in the backfield. Prentice gets the snap, keeps it. He fakes the pitch, sprints up the middle, tackled at just about the first down marker. It probably is going to be a first down, and that's going to stop the clock with 11.4 seconds. It'll run again when they reset the ball, and we'll see if North Catholic gets a playoff.
I'm kind of curious to see if that was a designed RPO where Kapinski was an option to throw to, or if he's just a decoy there after making those big plays, opening up, because you saw some defenders freeze on Kapinski, leaving a lane for Prentice.
And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. North Catholic leading 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. We're going to send it down to Alex Brown for an update on North Catholic golf.
Thanks, guys. Yesterday, our boys golf team traveled to Cedar Brook Country Club to compete in the Whitfield 2A Boys Team Championship. The Trojans were victorious in claiming the title for the first time in program history and dethroned the 8-time defending champion Swickley Academy. Congratulations to seniors Tegan McTighe, Zach Causa, juniors Tommy Burke, Ethan Ellis, and Eric Schneider, and sophomore Justin Contel and Coach Burke on the win. The team will now head to the PIAA Team Championship on Monday, October 25th at Heritage Hills Golf Resort in York, PA. In addition, Ethan Ellis will represent North at the PIAA Individual Golf Championship this Monday, October 18th. This is also at York, PA at the Heritage Hills Golf Resort. The last Trojan golfer to win a state title was Maddie Smithco when she went back-to-back in 2017 and 2018. And now, with the second quarter, Darren Lyles and Sean Malone.
And thank you, Alex, for that report on another Whitfield championship for North Catholic. This time the golf team, which is the school's first championship up in the new campus. And Prentice is going to flip the ball to Fennell, Fennell is sneaking his way inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. That was a pretty strange play there, huh, Darren?
Yeah, it was another mishandled snap, but when you have superior athletes, sometimes you could do stuff like that, flip it out to another guy who could run a 4-4 and let him do something. He did take a real hard high-low hit at the end of the play, so it's nice to see him pop up after that.
Yeah, Joey Prentice is somebody who always, I think, tries to get up as quick as he can.
I meant Fennell.
Oh, Fennell, too. It looked like Prentice got hit pretty hard after he threw the ball. Oh, and here's Prentice under center again. Heavy formation, 2 receivers, Straub and Fennell out to the right, 2 tight ends. Prentice hands it off to Topinski, and he's got a head full of steam, spins out of 1 tackle, and fighting for more. He's tackled by 3 Lancers inside the 25. Another first down for North Catholic.
Once again, just great usage. It looks like just a simple zone play to the right side. But when you go under center and you get those linemen down in the 3-point stance, it really lets them just fire out. I mean, sometimes it's a mindset even more than anything. You know, when you're back in the shotgun, you hear a lot about this at college and even the pro game. It takes them out of the mindset of really firing out and being the aggressor on those run plays. So here it's really letting them kind of be the person making the play happen.
You also get Kyle Topinski with much more of a running start when it's under center. Here's the play action fake. Prentice throws to a open Jack Fennell. He catches the ball and gets out of bounds inside the 15, just short of the first down marker.
There's the play action we're talking about. And we saw a nice open Jack Fennell. Once again, you have a big person like Kyle Topinski running full speed at you. You want to maybe cheat up a step, right? Try to get there to make that play. So the passing lane's wide open for a nice gain.
There were 2 receivers wide open out in the flat there. Straub was short. Fennell was a little bit deeper, and that's who Prentice chose to throw it to. North Catholic has had really great success out of this offensive setup where Prentice is lining up under center. I think this is really going to make them much tougher to defend as we move forward in the at the end of the regular season and into the postseason. Fennell is in motion, and Prentice gets the snap, hands off to Topinski, and he's got another first down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Trojans.
Yeah, let's get Coach O'Shea. He's a smart guy. He's been around. He knows the game, and that ability to kind of be creative, and really especially at the high school level, it's trying to get your best athletes in positions to let them make a play. So obviously we talked about the passing game with Kyle Topinski, but you do have a big guy who could be a powerful runner. Why not change up what you do a little bit, kind of placate that style runner, that type of athlete, and put him under center. So just a great adjustment by Coach O'Shea and the coaching staff, kind of incorporating this along with their usual offense.
And now we're back in the classic North Catholic shotgun offense. Prentice with Fennell to his left is going to be he fakes the quick pass, and Prentice is going to dart forward to about the 5-yard line. I was just watching Joey there, Darren. What do you think his thought process was in terms of, do I throw the ball to Kyle or do I keep it myself?
It looks like probably it's a quick pass, but once again, you like to see that now out of Joey when he makes a smart play. Like, hey, let's not force a pass in there. Let me use my legs. I'm an athlete. Let's make, a 2, 3, 4, 5-yard gain, and let's keep the ball in our possession while especially we're in the red zone. That's about smart football in the red zone.
High snap and another fumble. Prentice diving in. He thought he saw the ball, but Deer Lakes is going to get the ball. Another fumble by the Trojans.
Yeah, again, red zone, it's about, making smart plays, doing the little things right to kind of lock up where you at. You want to come away with points on the board there, whether it be 3 or 7. And it really stinks when you can't come away with that. So maybe it's really due for time to have North Catholic defense make, a turnover along with just, stopping the Deer Lakes offense.
Yeah, Prentice, he had to get a very, very high snap there that time, and then he was not able to execute the handoff to Fennell. Whereas I think it was on the Topinski touchdown where he had a high snap and then was able to throw it out to Topinski fairly quickly. But this time the high snap really.
Also, there was actually a play under center where the snap wasn't totally clean, but Prentice was able to adjust and hand the ball to Topinski. So
from his own end zone as the Deer Lakes quarterback, he's going to be sacked at about the 2-yard line.
Man, there's nothing going on that play. You have great penetration by the North Catholic defensive line, and then you also, every receiver seemed just blanketed by that North Catholic defensive backfield.
7-0 Trojans. Just about 9 minutes left to play in the second quarter. The North Catholic defense turning in yet again another stellar performance. They have not given up a first down yet. I would venture to say that Deer Lakes has negative yardage so far in this game. That's just how good the North Catholic defense has been.
Yeah. Kind of curious to see what Deer Lakes goes with here, being they're backed up against the end zone. Are they trying something just to give themselves some breathing room, or?
They're going to hand it off up the middle to Scarantine, and he just squeaks out of the end zone back to the line of scrimmage at about the 2.
Once again, a high snap for Deer Lakes there. I mean, we've been talking about it all year. With those spread offenses, shotgun offenses, a high snap could just totally throw off the timing of what's happening out there. So it's really important, both teams to just get those snaps are easily fielded, cleanly fielded, kind of keep the offense on time.
What do you think is accounting for all of the bad snaps we've seen this year? It's not only been North Catholic. It's been a lot of the teams that they've played in the shotgun.
It's hard, especially you're seeing a lot of teams this year have that nose tackle right on the center. So he's having to snap the ball and try to fire out to make that block all at the same time. It's not easy.
A quick pass this time to the outside to number 10, Fletcher Hammond. He catches the ball, but he's only going to get out to the 7-yard line, which is well short of the first down. And now Deer Lakes is going to have to punt from their own end zone.
Yeah. So once again, a great defensive stand, winning the field position battle. North Catholic once again just has to kind of stop beating itself for a second. I mean, if they do that, this game can get out of hand quickly. They're moving the ball. Deer Lakes has been totally stymied at every turn. It's just simple mistakes.
Yeah, North Catholic has had 3 possessions, I think, on offense, and all of those possessions they haven't punted yet. Straub gets the punt at his 40-yard line, and he's going to get inside the 30-yard line. Good return by Straub. Sets up North Catholic with excellent field position.
Yep. I mean, when you get the ball on the opposing team's like 25, you got to come away with points here. It's just obvious. So, I mean, the plays are working. The X's and O's are working. The coaching staff did its job. Now the players really just got to execute. I mean, and they are executing. That's the worst part. They're executing on these plays. It's just a simple thing like a high snap, a fumble here. Just have a couple clean plays together, and you'll probably find yourself in the end zone.
So 7:18 left in the second quarter. Handoff to Topinski out of the shotgun, and he's just standing there and being tackled by 7 or 8 people after maybe a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, and like that wears on people. We often hear about big running backs wearing down defenses, and especially someone as big as Kyle Topinski is for a high school player that's big and fast, constantly having to hit him, constantly have to hit him. It might pay dividends down the road when we get to that third, fourth quarter.
As I was saying earlier, North Catholic has had 3 possessions, 1 touchdown, and 2 lost fumbles on drives where they were moving it down the field. So Deer Lakes has really yet to stop the Trojans. Prentice is scrambling, throws it to Maziarz on the sideline, makes one guy miss, and then steps out of bounds at about the 22 or 23-yard line.
I just want to point out on that screen, you saw Seamus Straub just pancake somebody, like 3 yards, like takes him down and slides out of bounds. So that's some great downfield blocking. I love that tenacious attitude from the North Catholic line.
And there's some of the ball kids on the sideline recognize that right in front of them, that great block by Straub, and they gave him a high five. But maybe the referees are thinking it was a little too late. There's a conference that Daniel Long is trying to listen in on. And we'll see if anything comes out of that. Clock is stopped at 6:31 in the second quarter.
So apparently they thought that block was a little out of bounds, so North Catholic, once again, backtracking. That's always such a hard thing too, Sean. You know, you're taught to play to the whistle. You're taught to block your man, and you know, you're engaged with the person. You maybe have a general idea where you are, but you're not exactly sure. So, I mean, that's a tough penalty to eat, but it was the call.
So we are at 2nd and 15 from the 35-yard line. North Catholic needs to get to the 20 for a first down. Prentice screen pass to Lanthaler. He's going to stumble forward inside the 30, and that's going to set up a 3rd and 7. So good play there on 2nd and 15.
Nice to make this a 3rd and manageable. First time really seeing Mitch Lanthaler on the offensive side of the ball. He starts outside linebacker, but haven't really seen him incorporated in the offense too much, but gets a nice touch right there.
All right, so it is about 3rd and 8, I would say. 3 receivers to Prentice's right, Fennell, Lanthaler, and Maziarz. Kyle Topinski in the backfield, and probably Liam Straub way out to the left near the sideline. Fennell is in motion, and Prentice is going to keep the ball, and there was 3 people right on top of him. That's one of the few times you're going to see Prentice brought down for a loss. Good play by the Lancers.
Yep, they didn't bite on that jet motion there. You definitely see that North Catholic was thinking 4-down territory there. Let's see if we can make this a very 4th and short. You know, field goals are kind of a sticky situation in high school. Let's see what they're going with right now in about 4th and 14 from the 34, I'd say.
33-yard line probably here, which is going to make it 4th and about 13 or 14. Prentice looks a little bit shaken up after that, after he was tackled on that play, and the classic getting the other team off sides by some 5 yards that they may have just lost on that play.
I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure the only thing that was going to happen with that was either an offsides or eat the 5-yard penalty and have a little bit more room to work with the punt. Let's see if they actually try for it on a 4th and 9, or...
I mean, it's inside the 30-yard line. Your defense has been playing great. I don't see a reason to punt here. And I think the field goal, as good as Marshall has been on extra points, this might be a little bit outside of his range.
Yeah.
But I think the Trojans want to talk it over first. Our girls volleyball team is going to return to Barth and Graham Court this week on Tuesday for their senior night when they welcome Brentwood to the court. Our coverage will start at 7 p.m. on Tuesday right here on the North Catholic Sports Network and Trib Live High School Sports Network. Alex Brown and Ryan Berry will be on the call for that game. And the North Catholic girls volleyball team, Darren, is yet another North Catholic team that is having a lot of success this year. Alex just told you about the boys golf team and those 6 starters that brought home the WPIAL championship over an 8-time defending champion, Sewickley Academy. That's pretty cool when you can knock off a team that's won that many years in a row. The girls volleyball team is on the flip side of that, where they've been to the WPIAL championship game now, I think 3 years in a row. They are the defending champions, and they're ranked number 1. in their classification.
Yeah,
So girls volleyball looks like they could bring a WPIAL title to North Catholic as well this year.
Absolutely.
Prentice in the shotgun on 4th down. It's a screen play to Topinski. Let's see if he can get it. He bowls over one guy, but other people bring him down, and Deer Lakes gets off the field on 4th down.
Great play by Colton Batch to just break down in that open field and take down Kyle Topinski, load his legs. You got to wrap up low on him. If you try to hit him high, he's going to run you over. So just great defensive play there to kind of break up that screen and get the ball back from Deer Lakes.
And that was a pretty good play call for North Catholic. They got their best offensive player tonight so far, Kyle Topinski, the ball with a little bit of space. Deer Lakes just came up with a great tackle there to force North Catholic into a turnover on downs. So the Trojans still have yet to punt tonight, but they only have 7 points. This game is only a one-score game so far, as dominant as North Catholic has been.
Yeah, I mean, if you see a box score, you're like, oh, wow, it's a close game. But if you're watching it, it doesn't look close. And it's just mistakes are killing them. And we have another sack there by Mitch Lanthaler and Daniel Long.
And it looked to me that Derek Burke, the Deer Lakes quarterback, had a little bit of time to throw. His arm was back. He was ready to throw, but he didn't because no one was open. So that's both a coverage sack and a pressure sack.
It's hard. I mean, we talk about just having the general time to throw, but it's also having the time for your receivers to work open. I mean, that's what a great pass rush and great pressure does. It works hand in hand because, receivers need a second to get off the line, get open, run their routes, to kind of lose their defenders. And, North Catholic's not really getting time to do that.
Deer Lakes in the shotgun again. And they're going to go deep. They're going to test Maziar's. And Camedy was just maybe a foot and a half shy of intercepting that ball.
Great team defense by Maziar's and Camedy going deep. And I'm noticing, Deer Lakes on those big throws, they're leaving 6 people in to block, just for a 3-man rush. I noticed Daniel Long beat the tackle, then was also in the process of beating the back on his way. If they probably would have held the ball for one more second, would have been another North Catholic sack. So, I mean, they're keeping a lot of guys in to just block a few, which also, limits the number of targets you have out there to throw to as well.
Yeah, I was looking at Lucius Marbella on that play, and there was 2 people that had to stop him from getting into the backfield. So even if the pass rush doesn't get there, it still affects what Deer Lakes can do. They've got a 3rd and 18, and it's thrown, tipped ball, tip drill, nope. Topinski smacking himself in the helmet. He saw 6 points staring at him right there.
Yeah.
And it was just a little bit too high and hard for him to walk into the end zone.
Yeah. Great zone defense, though, by North Catholic. I mean, 3-man rush, doesn't still give him a lot of time. Once again, Deer Lake's looking for its first down of the game.
And there's 3:50 left in the second quarter, and as Darren just said, no first downs for the Lancers. Here's the best punt of the night for Deer Lakes, and Straub has trouble, and he smartly falls on the ball at about the 43 or 44-yard line.
Sean, just watching this game, I don't know if you feel the same way. Obviously, high school football is a game of momentum and passion, but it really feels like Deer Lakes at this point is hanging on by a thread. Like they're almost surprised that it's this close. You feel like at any moment these floodgates could open, and you'll just see North Catholic put up 21, 28 points in a quarter while shutting them out. It just seems like if they could just limit the mistakes, this game would be out of reach by halftime. Well, not halftime at this point, but by the third quarter.
I'd be pretty impressed if they could they'd probably have to put up 2 more touchdowns, I would say, to make it out of reach by halftime. But with the way their defense has been playing, just another touchdown might be out of reach. Here's the power set from North Catholic. Prentice hands it off to Topinski. He's got that head of steam. He's doing a stutter step. He gets to the outside. He's got some room, and he keeps moving to just about the 40-yard line, and you just can't bring him down.
You gotta love it when you're gang tackled and still you end up falling forward over somebody. So just hard running by Kyle Topinski. Another thing you might not notice there, Sean, great block by Jack Finn on the outside. You saw that change of direction, got him. He's the one who really sprang that for a big gain right there. Now I'm kind of curious to see if North Catholic, they love to put points on the board. We're looking, they average 42.6 points a game, but would they be all right just playing more of a patient game, getting the 3 to 10 yards of carry that they're getting, and just establishing a lead that way? Are they okay, doing it that way? Now we're seeing Kyle Topinski in the shotgun this time.
Topinski in the backfield, Fennell in motion. Fennell's going to get it on that jet sweep, and he's darting up the middle, makes a couple people miss. He's inside the 30, and he's going to break away from everybody. Jack Fennell into the end zone, a 44-yard touchdown run.
Very shifty by Jack Fennell. You know, that power set, you have Tyler Pence in the background acting kind of like as a big fullback. So he carries, he blocks, and it looked like he was going to be wrapped up for maybe a 5-yard gain, but he just keeps chopping his feet, keeps looking for open lanes, and then you just can't let Jack Fennell get open. He's probably straight line the fastest person on this team. You know, as a high schooler running a true 4.4. So, and any up the lane, we just saw that acceleration just pull away from the rest of the Deer Lake offense. And that's what you'd love to see. You want to see guys with that speed pull away, give them lanes to work. You know, I was actually making fun of Jack. I have Jack in class. I was like, when are you actually going to score a touchdown when I broadcast a game? You seem to have all your big games I'm not watching. Like, can you actually score for once? And he's like, oh, I feel pretty good about this week. And he was right. He felt great on that run, looking great. Great play by the North Catholic offense.
Yeah, there was some good blocking initially, but the last 35 yards of that run was all Fennell. He made a quick darting move inside, and then it was just straight line speed. It looked to me like it was going to be that you make a nice move, get 5 extra yards, but he ran away from everybody, and the lead just widened as he kept going. Great run there from Fennell.
I feel very confident in saying that if Jack Fennell has a 3-yard lead on any Whippeal defender, I'd say probably 98% of the players can't make that tackle. That much lead, he's gone, never to be seen from again until he's in the end zone. So a very limited number of defenders that are playing the WPIL could close that gap if he's able to find it.
So Fennell into the end zone with 2:52 left in the second quarter. North Catholic up 14-0. And maybe they do have time to put the game out of reach by halftime if they can get a quick 3-and-out from Deer Lakes and then another strike on offense. And it's not like they're purposely going for big plays on offense. It's just running their normal offense. And Topinski and Fennell have been so dangerous that they break open into these long touchdown plays. 47 yards on the pass to Topinski and a 44-yard run for Fennell. Deer Lakes fields the ball, and their runner is going to slip at about the 30-yard line. A flag from the sideline.
Sean, I just feel like a turnover's coming. You know, a lot of things that, you know, lead to that are out there. You know, you see the pressure, you see rushed throws, you see hands on the ball, you see good coverage. I just feel maybe an interception or a fumble or something along the lines coming, because it's Deer Lakes has, you know, been smart with the ball, keeping their hands on it. You know, they're not moving it, but they're not, you know, giving up possession.
Yeah, their quarterback, Derek Burke, 6'1" sophomore. He's been under duress a lot, but he has been able to avoid any interceptions, avoid any fumbles when he's been sacked. He's played a clean game, even though the team hasn't moved the ball down the field.
All their ball carriers seem to have 2 hands in the ball. Like, you notice the North Catholic defense, they wrap up and then they're attacking that ball, trying to get that fumble. So they're keeping 2 hands, good ball security right there.
That penalty was on Deer Lakes, so the ball is going to go back all the way to the 16-yard line. So tough field position again for Deer Lakes. They've got to go 84 yards if they want to get a touchdown.
Yeah, interesting what Deer Lakes goes with here. If they, you know, don't want to give the ball back to North Catholic with too much time, but you also need to do something to really try to make sure you stay in this game.
And Deer Lakes is going to pass. Their quarterback has some room, and Joey Prentice almost caught that ball at his ankle with one hand.
Daniel Long not happy about that play, and I think for good reason. He pretty much got tackled by the upper body after breaking a double team by 2 defenders. You know, I mean, that's a smart move, double teaming Daniel Long. We've seen the havoc he wreaks all year. So, I mean, I guess hold until you get called for it, right?
And Long, I think, is talking to – I saw him talk one official and then talk to another official. You're right there. He was not happy that he maybe got tackled there.
And you know, Sean, like the old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Sometimes it's like, hey, sir, I'm being held every play. Like, if you make it a point just to be respectful and ask, they might look for it and you might get that call later on.
Let's see if Deer Lakes decides to throw it again. They do. This is a quick throw, kind of a wide receiver screen. And there is a flag, and it's probably going to be on the block that freed up that Deer Lakes receiver to get some positive yardage.
Yeah, block in the back there. So as the students like to chant, you can't do that.
I think that's more of a basketball chant than a football chant. But we can't really hear the student section. They're way down towards the end zone on our left. Maybe they are chanting that right now.
And it's a pink out night for breast cancer awareness. So nice choice by the student section over there.
And there was a lot of flyers around the school building this week with Dalian Mulhern on the poster, as well as Lucius Marbella, maybe like flexing on the poster. If that's probably what he did after he scored that lineman touchdown earlier this year.
I couldn't think of a better way to sell this game than those two.
Yeah, I'm really happy for Lucius this year, how well he's doing with the playing time that he's had. We've been doing these games for a couple years now. I don't remember calling his name much before this year, and he's really stepped in and filled in the nose tackle shoes.
Some guys, their only opportunities their senior year. I mean, I've heard stories of guys that were career backups in wrestling, and the first time he's out to start because the starter gets hurt, he wins the state title. Like, you have to make the best chance your opportunity. I mean, he's put the work in. And now there's an opportunity. He really is making the most of it. And there's something special about that senior year of football. Like, it's just something you will never forget if you participate in. And I'm really glad for a good kid like Lucius to have his moment and be playing at such a good level for him this year.
Yeah, and Robbie Crest is another senior who hasn't had much of an opportunity to play, but he's done a great job on defense this year.
Yeah, huge step forward for Robbie Crest. Like, I mean, Robbie Crest wasn't he was a role player, had some time here and there last year, but man, he has taken a huge step, and you notice he's making an impact when the ball comes his side of the field. So great job by Robbie Crest, working his butt off in the offseason, improving as a player, and definitely making his name heard during the season.
There's something, a lot of...
I'm a little confused. They seem like they're taking the yard of gain and then marching it back from the yard of gain. I thought in a block in the back like that, it was just
spot foul.
Yeah,
right?
well, I thought it was. I guess it is a spot foul. I thought it would be a repeat the down, but yeah, you are right. It is a spot foul from that. So we might be seeing like a 2nd and 11, maybe. Not sure.
I'm not sure. Eventually they'll spot the ball, and we can get started again with about 2 minutes and 38 seconds left here in the second quarter. What's going on during halftime? There was a holding call and a personal foul. So offsetting penalties.
I'd like to know what the personal foul is. Is it late hit? Is it a face mask? Is it what's going on here with those calls?
How does a ref normally indicate a personal foul there?
I mean, usually you have that motion of hitting the one forearm to the other, but a lot of times they'll also give the face mask call afterwards, or if they hold their arms kind of in a T, that's unsportsmanlike conduct. So a little clarification. Obviously, I'm not sure if the referees are mic'd up or not tonight. Kind of hard to hear in the booth, but it is kind of interesting to see what they're calling and kind of know what happened out there. So offsetting fouls make it 2nd and 10.
Referees are explaining everything that transpired to the coaches.
I don't know about you, Sean. I'm getting some flashbacks to the Blackhawk game with the longest drive that ever happened.
I know.
That had 80 penalties and a lot of discussion that happened.
Yeah. The last 7 seconds have taken about 10 minutes. This half, I think, was really flying along in the first quarter, and we've ground to a halt. North Catholic 14-0, 2:38 left in the second quarter. And another flag before we even get to do a play.
Who's it on? Who's the guilty party?
Looked to me like maybe North Catholic jumped, but I'm not looking at linemen to see what happened. There's going to be a false start on Deer Lakes.
Once again, that Deer Lakes offensive line trying to get a head start, trying to stop this tenacious North Catholic pass rush. So let's see how Deer Lakes wants to play this.
2:38, 2nd and 15 from their own 11-yard line. Deer Lakes is going to go with 4 wide receivers. and they throw it out wide. And their player has some good blocks and a little bit of room, and he gets outside the 20-yard line. Deer Lakes' best play of the night so far, Darren.
Yeah, that's smart. You know, obviously with all the muck inside with the backers and the front seven, that's not working. You really try to spread someone out, especially to the field side. You know, when the ball's spotted on the hashes, the field is where more of the field is, you know, as it's stated. So, you know, giving those short screens, you know, trying to force North Catholic into open field tackles, you know, one-on-ones.
There was some
smart.
excellent blocking from wide receivers on that side as well.
Yeah,
so Josh Jordan makes it a 3rd and 5, 10-yard play. Deer Lakes' biggest of the night, trying to get their first down here. And it's going to be a – oh! They thought there was going to be a quick pass. The quarterback didn't like it, and then Daniel Long just destroyed him.
Once again, another person I wouldn't want to be hit with a running start is Daniel Long. I mean, that young man, he just worked so hard. One of the best motors. I played high school football. I followed high school football. One of the best motors I have ever seen in a football player. And whatever college gets him in a couple years is going to be a very lucky school, because that guy will outwork anybody. And I just see him in the weight room. I see him on the practice field. That guy is all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, and there was another Trojan player there too. Long was just the one who made the more emphatic tackle. So 2:19 left. North Catholic is going to get another a chance, probably with good field position, as Deer Lakes is going to be punting from their own end zone here. So the Trojans could potentially put up 20 points in this first half, even with all of the mistakes that they've made so far. Straub and Fennell will be back there to receive the punt. Low snap, he gets it off. It goes right to Straub, but let's see what Straub can do with this. And he's going to make the first guy miss. He's going to get to the outside. Straub's got the edge, and he has a lot of room in front of him. Liam Straub, untouched to the end zone.
Beautiful blocking there by North Catholic. And we always talk about Liam Straub, Mr. Slippery. No one man can bring him down. Always seems to slide out. But, there was a flag in the play. I was about to say, really the last block you see on that play, Julian King seals off the edge, kind of making that touchdown happen, but it looks like it's going to be coming back, sadly.
Yeah, there was a flag all the way back at the 46-yard line that I did not see. I was looking at the near sideline for a flag because maybe that's where you'd see it with a block in the back, but it appeared to be on the far sideline that the flag was thrown.
And the North Catholic faithful is not happy about that call. I believe someone is screaming, "That is ridiculous," out there.
So again, another penalty. 2:03 left in the second quarter. During halftime, we are going to send it down to Ryan and Alex at the beginning, and then we'll have the Trib Live halftime show for you. And then after that, you'll be able to see the North Catholic Marching Band. Ryan and Alex will pick it up right at the end of halftime before Darren and I get back on the air. So if you want to stay tuned in during halftime, lots of good stuff for you. I definitely watch the marching band show. We've enjoyed watching it a couple times this year, Darren. They do bring a bed on the field, which I think is pretty
great
unique.
use of props. Now, I'm curious to see on this drive if North Catholic finally tries to take a deep shot down the field with a pass. I mean, obviously, a lot of their short game has been working with runs and screens, putting those athletes, the ball in the athletes' hands. You almost feel like, and you're looking at the Deer Lakes defense, they're kind of creeping up a little bit.
And you've got a couple senior wide receivers who you'd like to see with the deep shot. There it is, the deep shot to Maziars. And Maziars has got room to run. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. And he is going to dive to the end zone. No, he doesn't get in. He's out at the 1-yard line.
So once again, there was that shot we're talking about. North Catholic utilized what it looks like to be a post wheel, so kind of stresses that deep coverage to who they're going to cover. A lot of times you see that wheel come open in high school, but this time they kind of took out that deep wheel and left that post wide open for Maziark right there.
And I think North Catholic is going to get a personal foul, maybe unsportsmanlike conduct there at the end. Too much celebration. I saw the flag. You can still see it at about the 4 or 5 yard line.
This officiating crew is not giving a lot of leeway out there. They are making sure this is a clean game in their perspective. This might be the most personal fouls I've ever seen in a game, Sean.
There was a couple of Hampton games I did a few years ago when I was announcing with my old AP economics teacher, in high school. There was one game against North Hills where I feel like there was double-digit personal fouls in total, and we're getting close to that territory because there have been a lot this first half.
And the funny thing you see, a lot of the personal fouls in high school are players getting heated with each other a little bit after the whistle, extracurriculars. Football's a game of emotions, and it's hard to kind of limit, especially, a young high schooler's emotion, when they make a big play under the Friday night lights. So not necessarily saying I agree with that call on the field. You've been hearing a lot about taunting calls in the NFL and people not happy. I tend to be of that school as well, that, you got to let these players play, let them have some emotion. They're not robots. They're 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old young men. So I think that's a real hard penalty and a big gift there for Deer Lakes.
And so that is going to be a personal foul. And since it happened inside the 10-yard line, is that going to make it 1st and goal from about the 18 or 19-yard line?
Yeah, Pierce so.
Yeah, there's no first down marker, so it must be 1st and goal to go from the 18 or the 19-yard line. And North Catholic, power offense here, 2 tight ends. Prentice under center. It's going to be a play action. Throws off his back foot to the end zone. And Fennell gets it for a touchdown. Jack Fennell, 2nd touchdown of the game.
Great play by Fennell. Prentice under duress has to kind of loft it into that open spot. He wasn't really throwing to receiver. He threw it in an open spot on the field. Fennell has to make that adjustment, goes down and catches the ball for a great play for North Catholic. And that's what I love about this North Catholic offense, Sean, is the versatility in their playmakers. Both Fennell and Topinski kind of rotate from receiver to running back, and they've shown the ability to play both at a high level.
Yeah, Fennell did a wonderful job shielding maybe his defender a little bit, going down low to catch that ball as Marsico puts the extra point up and through. North Catholic up 21-0. 3 minutes ago, we were joking that North Catholic, this game was so much closer than it was really on the field, and now North Catholic has made the score look pretty bad already.
If you're a fan of North Catholic, so frustrated is they have the ability to just blow the doors off people, and it's just the only thing that stops them is themselves. You have guys who could break an 80-yard run like it's nothing. Find themselves open. People that can extend plays and make big plays. With their legs like Joey Prentice. So sometimes really the only people stopping them is them. If they would play a clean game, they would be a juggernaut. It would, in my opinion, roll to the Whitfield final. And I said, they have that potential. It's just, the mental mistakes. Sometimes when you're a superior, athletic ability to your opponent, you forget those little details and you kind of go through the motions. And if they just kind of focus on that, I think it would make a huge difference.
Essentially, they scored 3 touchdowns that drive. They had Straub's punt return that was called back because of flag. Maziarz took it down to the 1-yard line, and then it made it a 1st and goal from the 19 because of an unsportsmanlike penalty, and then they scored a touchdown.
Their average game right now is a 42.6 to 4.4 game, and in reality, it easily could be in the 50s or 60s and even less points given up. So that's just kind of the team we have this year.
Deer Lakes, nice return, got a big burst of speed there, and North Catholic player knocks down a Deer Lakes player pretty late there. I'm kind of surprised there wasn't a flag there based on how the game has been called.
Yeah, I mean, Deer Lakes, I'm just seeing the blocking. I'm kind of waiting for them to break one. I mean, it looks like there's been some lanes, but I'm not sure if the returner is athletic enough to kind of overcome the North Catholic athletes out there. They can kind of close that gap a little bit on them. But that's something they might want to look at because it looks like there's some lanes out there on the returns, and we know returns have kind of been an Achilles heel for North Catholic in the past.
Deer Lakes in the shotgun, 1:37 left in the second quarter. They're just going to hand it off with Scarantine up the middle. He gets about a 3 or 4 yard gain before he's knocked down by Topinski.
I think they just wanted to get a positive play there, maybe catch North Catholic off balance. I mean, they have 1:30 with 2 timeouts left. Maybe they thought they could, catch them napping a little bit, being a little over-aggressive there.
I think based on how quickly North Catholic has scored the ball, I feel like Deer Lakes is maybe going to run it 3 times here. Be happy to get to the half at 21-0. See if you can scare up some sort of offensive play that will be successful. But I guess you would like to get a first down, which Deer Lakes has not yet had in the first half. They hand it off to Scarantine again, and there is that first down of the game. Nice hole in the middle for Scarantine. It's going to be Straub bringing him down, but not until he gets about a 10-yard gain.
Yeah, I mean, right now I think they're just trying to boost their confidence. You're noticing North Catholic's playing back, making sure, they have their deep covers. not get burnt deep on a big play. They're kind of giving up some underneath stuff. So, and it appears that Deer Lakes is just trying to move the ball 4 yards at a time while, North Catholic's preventing the big plays. We talked about the back-to-back first downs, and it looks like Deer Lakes is really on the door knocking, but it was almost like North Catholic was okay giving up that first downs because, just don't get burnt deep. Only a minute 30. If they're running the ball, there's only 30 seconds left. So let's see if Deer Lakes tries to be a little more aggressive with limited time on the clock.
And Deer Lakes has taken a timeout here, which tells me that they're going to try to do something that will get them closer to scoring the ball here. So maybe Deer Lakes is not going to be content to just run it and run out the second quarter and the first half.
I mean, what Deer Lakes was doing there is like I said, taking easy yardage. They have maybe 15-ish, 20-ish yards because, 4 or 5 yards at a time because that's what North Catholic was giving them. Once they get a little bit closer striking range, then they take their timeouts and maybe try to be a little more aggressive with their calls, but they got to get some yardage. So that was kind of what appears to me with their strategy they were going on with right there.
So Deer Lakes has pushed the ball into North Catholic territory for the first time tonight. Burke is back in the shotgun, and he's going to give it to Scarantine again. Scarantine just bowls forward, and he's going to be really close to the first down marker.
Looks like they're moving the chains.
And they are going to give him a first down. And there's the back-to-back first downs, and only 2 first downs of the half for Deer Lakes. Under 30 seconds now. A handoff again to Scarantine. This time he's met in the backfield and brought to the ground by a combination of Primrose and I couldn't tell who else that was.
Well, now we're at the point now where Deer Lakes simply just can't run the ball for their 4 to 5 yard game with a soft defense underneath. I hate to use the term giving them those yards, but they definitely were. North Catholic's okay giving up those yards to, eat up clock. So let's see what Deer Lakes does, with only 16 seconds left. I'm assuming they'll probably have a shot down the field somewhere.
Yeah, I would think that they would take a shot at, if not the end zone, maybe deep down the sidelines. I don't know if
try to draw a pass interference call.
Pass interference. I don't know how good their field goal kicker is. It'd definitely just be a moral victory for them to put any sort of points on the board in the first half. As this drive is the only drive where they've even had a first down so far in the first half. And on the other side, North Catholic has looked pretty unstoppable on offense, except when they shoot themselves in the foot.
Let's see if Deer Lake's offensive line can hold enough for a deep shot down the field.
And Burke is not going to have enough time.
And the answer question was that was no.
Drags him down.
Yeah, drags him by his jersey. Smart to avoid the horse collar there. And that looks like it's going to be the half. And Daniel Long takes a little snapshot of his teammate after that big sack.
Yeah. And the first half, I think, ends fittingly there. North Catholic defense getting a sack and not even letting Deer Lakes take a shot deep down the field. North Catholic up 21-0. They had 3 touchdowns there in the first half. In the first quarter with 2:16 left, there was a 47-yard touchdown pass from Joey Prentice to Kyle Topinski. With 2:52 left in the second quarter, it was a 44-yard touchdown run by Jack Fennell. And with 1:42 left in the second quarter, there was a 19-yard touchdown pass from Prentice to Fennell. So Fennell with 2 TDs in the first half. Ethan Marsico good on all 3 of his PATs. Darren and I will be back with you in the second half. During halftime, please stay tuned. Listen to Alex and Ryan recap the first half. We'll have the Trib Live halftime show for you, and then the North Catholic marching band. So until the second half, we'll turn it over to Alex and Ryan.
I'm down on the field with Coach Googly after the Trojans' first half against Deer Lakes. Coach, after you guys started a little slow, how are you guys able to regroup and get the quick score?
Yeah, I mean, we have so many talented guys on offense that it's just, cutting out the mistakes. I mean, a lot of penalties, a couple bad snaps, but, we just have that capability where we have really good offensive line, really good quarterback in Joey, and a lot of playmakers. So it's just, if we eliminate those mistakes, then, we're able to hit those big plays.
At the end of the second half, you guys were able to get some momentum by getting some quick stops and then a couple scores. How big is that going into the second half?
Yeah, I mean, Deer Lakes is a good team. They come in at 3-1 in the conference, and, just for us to regroup there and then come out in the end of the second quarter and be up by 3 scores right now is what we needed. We needed to come together as a team right there and eliminate the mistakes and get things going.
Lastly, what do you guys need to improve upon to finish this game out in the second half?
I mean, defense is playing great. I think it's just, once again, it's coming down to just we're kicking ourselves in the foot here, and stopping drives with penalties and a couple fumbles. So he's just making the right decisions and doing what we do best is, getting the ball in the hands of all the playmakers we do have and just eliminate the mistakes. I mean, if that happens, it'll be a different second half.
Thank you for your time, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, guys.
Please welcome the Deer Lakes High School marching band.
Week 7 edition of the halftime show on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Our little halftime get-together every week, sponsored by SE Tire and Export Tire. Your local tire experts, they work hard to earn your business. They have your size tire in stock installed today. All the best brands at the best tire prices. SE Tire, Route 51, Bell Vernon. Export Tire, Old William Penn Highway and Export. Shop for tires online. Check out their Google reviews. Folks checking out various high school football games here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network here in Week 7. These games being played, it's all great, especially when the time we are living in these last 2 years. You just want to get to Friday and then kick off, and this year especially enjoy everything that goes with Friday night high school football. Hasn't been the case with what has been pretty steady, a handful of games every week. There have been a slew of forfeits, if you will, teams deciding whether it be because of COVID-19 or because of injuries that they cannot participate, cannot play in a particular game. WPIL made it clear earlier this year, if you don't have the numbers to play, it's going to be a no contest, no penalty. But all these games, most of these games, I think all except 2, have turned out to be forfeits, which means teams by rule could have fielded a team, have chosen not to. Is this something that is a concern, Chris, for the district moving forward, even once we get past this whole pandemic thing?
It definitely is something that the WPL has their eye on. I talked to Executive Director Amy Schoeneman about that, and I asked her that. I said, there's way more this year than I can remember from years past, and it's up and down the list here, and it's all the way from 6A to single A. We've had actual forfeits this year, and she chalked it up mostly to still COVID issues. She said she thinks that there's already a lot of schools that have small rosters. We're seeing that's not that's nothing new. There's a lot of single A schools have small rosters. She thinks the COVID element laid on top of that this year, where you have a team maybe has 5 kids out who are hurt, and then 5 more who are out because of COVID cases or close contact or whatever, and those numbers add up. And other years it would have just been the injuries. You have the other kids you could play, and so they're thinking that they're hoping it's just an outlier. That 2021 and the number of forfeits is an outlier. I don't know if I'm convinced that all of them are, though, because I think we're seeing more and more small schools that are just struggling to come up with numbers. They just don't have many extra bodies on the roster to begin with. And I think there's some programs out there that are going to have to make some tough decisions in years moving forward.
In the case of Norwin, which is not a small school,
right,
they forfeited earlier this year. And it was a case, and I talked to another coach who said this too, and it makes sense. They lost, they had a lineman dealing with COVID, and so they had a bunch of linemen that were not able to play because of that. Now, they had enough players, but when you're missing linemen, it's hard to tell a running back or a wide receiver to, hey, you're going to be my offensive guard tonight. So that was a big reason, they got hit as far as various bodies were unable to play in a specific position. But the one common denominator, going by what you just said, is whether it's big school or whether it's small school, the one common denominator appears to be a school that is struggling on the field against a school that is doing very well, and the struggling school just, no moss, wants no part.
Right. And that's why you saw earlier this year, the PWA came down and tried to encourage all the districts to not make every cancellation a no contest. They said, make them forfeits if the team could have got on the field. If they had enough players to get on the field and chose not to, make it a forfeit. And that was it, because if you go back to a year ago, all of these games would have just been declared no contest. No, no harm, no foul, you move on. And the team that would have probably lost the game actually makes out by not having to play the good team. That was the thing that PWA said, they got to get that out of there this year. You can't have teams just ducking an opponent, using COVID as an easy excuse to get out of the way of a team that they know they're going to lose to.
We will talk more. This is sort of a hot button topic, and it'll be interesting to see how the district moves forward with this and other related topics. And we'll touch on some of them when the halftime show continues, sponsored by SE Tire and Export Tire on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Need new tires in a hurry? SE Tire has your size tire in stock. Install today. Before you hit the open road, see the tire experts at SE Tire. We do tires and we do them right. Before you hit the open road, see the tire experts at Export Tire. We do tires and we do them right. If it has wheels, we have the tires. Export Tire, your commercial tire headquarters.
We're talking forfeits on this edition of the halftime show on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Don Rebel, Chris Harlan. We were under the impression once the WPIL made their ruling about, what's a forfeit and what's a no contest earlier this year, that in the conference games that are not being played, that are considered forfeits, that the winning team, even though the score goes into the books as 1-0, would still get their 10 points for the WPIL tiebreaker, which, is big. That's not necessarily the case now, you're finding out.
Yeah, there's the WPL has multiple layers of tiebreaker systems. I'm not going to try to explain them all on the radio. That's not easy to do. But one of them is margin of victory. So if you beat somebody 1-0 as opposed to 10-0, that makes a difference in that margin of victory. 10 points is the most you can get. So that could be an issue coming down the road. Also, in terms of no contests, if you have a no contest in a conference game, you get Gardner points, which are based on the teams that the team you beat, the teams they beat. You get points for that. It's all a complicated math formula that doesn't work very well when you have no contests and you've got forfeits. So the WPL has some issues that, they're going to have to figure out here, or they might have to figure out. They're going to try to hold off on making decisions on those, though, probably till, the last week of the regular season to try to figure out what decisions they have to make is, I think, what they're going to do. They're kind of hoping that, because there's only like one wild card spot this year. I think it's in 2A. Most of the classifications don't have any wild cards, so tiebreakers would really only be needed to figure out order of finish in a conference. So I think they're going to try to hope that, maybe they get to the end and they don't really need these. And if they don't, then great. But if they do, then they're probably going to have the football committee, kind of like they did last year. You might put it in their hands to sort out conference orders and other stuff. So that's a big dilemma they still have maybe on their plate.
Freeport lost their game to Derry. Derry struggling. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out for the Yellow Jackets. Real quick, we've seen teams, Butler, Uniontown, Albert Gallatin, leave the WPIL football only we're talking about and go play an independent schedule. And those schools have had some success. Does this open the door for this next 2-year cycle coming up for other teams to take that route?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if you're a team that's struggling year after year after year, you got to do something different to try to find some spark. I think those teams, the ones you mentioned, I think they got to the point where they just didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. They just said, we're going to keep doing this. And if we keep losing, we might not have a football program in a few years. So I think, they took drastic actions. You might see a couple of schools maybe do that. I don't know if a lot will, because I don't think there's the big problem is there's not a lot of other teams outside to go play. It's not like a lot of, Western Pennsylvania schools is lining up to go play these guys. So I think that is a dilemma. I think one other thing you might see from smaller schools is maybe more and more co-ops where two schools join together and form one football team. But a lot of schools are reluctant to do that too, because then you kind of lose your tradition. You lose your Friday night. You lose, having the home game at your stadium. It's just there's a lot of logistics there that go into it. So you're going to see teams, I think, try to hold on as long as they possibly can.
We'll keep you updated on everything. SC Tire and Export Tire brings you the halftime show right here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Play and from the video game Civilization 6, Sonia DeVillard. And now, under the direction of drum major Ellie Armin, presenting our 2021 program, It Was Only a Dream. Please welcome to the field the North Catholic High School Trojan Marching Band.
And we are back with the start of the second half. Trojans up 21-0. And in order to start to set up where we're going, let's start about where we've been. 3 turnovers by the Trojans already in this game. We talked about the little things in our pregame show. We got to do the little things right in order to win this game. And North is far superior to Deer Lakes, and it should not be 21-0 right now, as you can see by the first half. Discipline has been called into question. You got to be disciplined in this second half. No personal fouls, but 3 personal fouls on the Trojans in the first half. That's got to change. Also, no turnovers in this half. And as long as you do the little things right, the big things will come, and the Trojans will win this game over Deer Lakes handily. So we'll see how much they can pull away here in the second half. Trojans start with the ball. We'll see what they can get going on offense. Instead, the running game has been crucial to the Trojans' offense this season. If the run game's going, the offense is going, and I'm sure that will be attested to as we start the second half. We'll send it up to the booth. Darren Lyles, take it away.
Welcome back. I am Darren Lyles. Sean Malone will be back with us shortly. We sit at 21-0 going into the second half. North Catholic leads. Just a quick review of the scoring before we start to focus on the second half here. Scoring was opened up with a 47-yard touchdown pass from Joey Prentice to Kyle Topinski, making the score 7-0 after the PAT. Then it was followed up with a second 44-yard touchdown run by Jack Fennell. PAT makes the score 14-0. And finally, the last score of the first half, a 19-yard touchdown pass from Joey Prentice to Jack Fennell, bringing us to the score after the PAT that we have now of 21-0. All right, as we go into the second half here, we got to see if North Catholic can continue its positive plays and minimize the negative plays. And for you watching at home, we've seen that throughout this game, it really does appear that North Catholic is the dominant team, much like Alex has said down low. But these mental mistakes, turnovers, slowing down the North Catholic offense has really been the only reason this game isn't further out of reach. While operating at a high level, they will score points. but we have to see if they can stop those mental mistakes. But on the other side of the ball, the North Catholic defense has really held up its end of the bargain, totally stymieing the Deer Lakes offense to only 2 first downs while playing a prevent defense near the second half. And Sean, as we welcome you back, just touching on the first half of, it appears to be a dominant performance by North Catholic. Deer Lakes is just kind of holding on because of North Catholic's mental mistakes. What are you also seeing out there?
I agree with what you just said there, Darren. A lot of mental mistakes. And if you listen to the halftime coach's interview, that's what the North Catholic coach said as well. A little out of breath. I had to run up the steps.
Yes, yeah.
I got caught up talking to Coach Rotman with the girls basketball team.
Awesome.
I lost track of time.
Yes,
Sorry.
as this game moves forward, Sean, I really want to see the approach of the North Catholic offense. Are they going to continue, trying to scheme ways to get their playmakers in space, really just focus on, execution? And I also want to see if, the North Catholic defense can just be as dominant as it is. I hate to say the term give up, but really the only first downs that Deer Lake got was, a prevent defense, letting those yards up, to eat clock. So I want to see how this game progresses in those things, and I want to see if North Catholic can get this out of hand by the end of this third quarter.
I mean, I feel like the game is already somewhat out of hand with a 21-0 score. But you really do want to see North Catholic put the ball in the end zone in this first drive. Fix those mistakes, play a clean drive, get the ball in the end zone, or maybe have a big return too, as Liam Straub pitches it to Topinski. Topinski's got a head of steam, and a good play by the first guy who gets to him. That was 24, Chris Blatnick. He was hanging on to Kyle's leg for dear life. And
yeah, a little bit of a reverse action there on the opening kickoff, trying to see if they could catch Deer Lake's napping. But number 24, Chris Blatnick, just holds on for dear life to Kyle Topinski's ankle and slows him down enough to the gang tackle by Deer Lakes.
All right, North Catholic's offense will take the field for the first time here in the second quarter. A pretty good turnout again tonight for the North Catholic student section and just fans in general for this senior night. And they've been turned pretty good performance by some of the seniors. Joey Prentice, 2 touchdown passes in the first half. Kyle Topinski, another senior, 1 touchdown. Seniors on defense turning in a great performance as well. Prentice is under center. He's going to give the ball to Topinski, but it's a fumble. And Deer Lakes has the ball. That is not what we wanted to see, is it, Darren?
Yeah, if you would draw up things you shouldn't do on your first offensive play while trying to play a more disciplined, clean game, fumbling the first handoff is probably down on the list. But as we've seen so far with this North Catholic defense, that's not necessarily having Deer Lakes in scoring position right now. They have a long way to go against this North Catholic defense.
Yeah, what do you think happened there, that handoff, Darren?
Sometimes it's really on the job of the quarterback. Just put it in the old breadbasket in the stomach, the back. Sometimes you might just have just a lack of focus of ball placement and basically putting the clamps on the ball. Especially, I don't know how much they've been utilizing those under center runs. This might be a newer development as the year goes on, so they might not have quite the level of practice that they've had compared to those shotgun handoffs.
And here's the ball to Scarantine, and nothing doing for him there. I think Camedy was in on the tackle. So was Straub, and Straub brings him to the ground at the end there.
You have to figure at this point in the ball game with the lead and the field positioning, Deer Lakes is definitely in 4-down territory. So how they call their plays in the next consecutive downs, it might be a slightly different strategy than you'd usually see. They maybe try to just get it into a 4th and manageable, a 4th and short even, to try to move the ball.
I love how the North Catholic defense, they come out after these bad plays by the offense, and they just give no ground whatsoever to the offense. You can see there basically a loss of or no gain for Deer Lakes. And second down, Scarantine is met in the backfield and thrown down by Tyler Primrose.
Well, a lot of these guys on the defense also play offense, so maybe they're a little angry every time they have to take the defensive side of the ball after having those mental errors. So you definitely see that deep penetration like we've been talking about all game by the North Catholic defensive front. So let's see here on this 3rd and long if, Deer Lakes just tries to dial up something to try to, not get it all back at once. Maybe just make it to a 4th and manageable. Maybe try to use 2 short passes to try to get some sort of offense going that's not against a prevent defense.
And speaking of seniors on defense playing well, Tyler Primrose has had a really good game so far as well. And let's see what happens here. It's a throw to the outside, a nice diving catch by the Deer Lakes receiver. And I think that is Josh Jordan. I think he's got all of their completed catches this game. He's been a pretty good receiver for them.
Yeah, good general defense there by the North Catholic defense, kind of taking it to a 4th and long. And now we see the kicker come out. And this is a little bit longer of a kick for a high school kicker, so they must have some good faith in that kicker. But we've seen, North Catholic's defense coming on blocks. So let's see if they're trying to draw them off sides or.
And the kick is just right into the line. Let's see who picks it up. It is Lanthaler. And is he going to have enough gas to get into the end zone? He's being chased by 16, and nobody's going to block that guy. But no one is going to catch Lanthaler. He's into the end zone. Blocked, field goal, touchdown.
Sean, it's one thing to have the kicker to have the leg, but you also got to have the blocking. On those longer field goals, you need a little bit of a tighter seal from the pass rush. And as an outside observer, I didn't really have faith in Deer Lakes, they've been getting dominated by the defensive line. So I'm not even really surprised they blocked that kick, to be honest.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision to kick that there. I don't think the kick just ever got high enough.
Yeah,
I'm
surprised being down 21-0. I hate to say it. Sometimes in these high school games, you do things for pride. With North Catholic having so many shutouts, sometimes just putting points on the board would be such a win for Deer Lakes, especially, has taken such a big step forward this year. Just even score on them after, being blown out year after year. To have that attempt to kind of.
J.D. Butler gets the high snap. He wants to get into the end zone. He's breaking one tackle, but now the entire Deer Lakes team brings him to the ground. Good try, J.D. And that's going to be a 2-point conversion, unsuccessful. And that makes it 27-0 North Catholic.
Yeah, that 2-point conversion, unsuccessful, high snap there. You know what else that means, Sean, is that with the next North Catholic touchdown, unless they get the 2-point conversion, we won't get our 35-point running clock.
Yeah, the running clock has made a lot of games. Maybe we've only done 3 games. So
yes.
And only one of the 3 games, and you weren't even there. It was the game
yes.
at. It was the game. It was the only away game we've done this year. It was at Ambridge. And North Catholic scored a late touchdown in the first half that set off the running clock for the second half. And as an announcer in a game that's not close, you do like that. And the coaches probably like that too, because the more snaps that you run in the second half, the more chances there are of people on your team being hurt. And even if you take your starters out, you don't want anybody on your team being hurt.
And you hate to see, a team that has proven to be superior throughout the game just continue to just, prolong the suffering. Sometimes there's simply in the high school level, depending on where you're at, there are some teams that are just out of another team's league, simply put. So, moving that game along, keeping it not too ugly, if possible, is a good thing at the high school level.
Marsico kicks it down the field, and it's received by 45 on Deer Lakes. He runs it out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. It was Jake Timmons. And the cheerleaders, it looks like, are doing something where they're going to throw it through a field goal while standing on top of a pyramid. I do not envy the task of the cheerleader throwing this ball. Oh, they're walking her forward to make it much easier.
Nice.
I feel like it would be hard to throw it while maintaining.
Oh, she's doing air stiff arms, like 4 stiff arms. And she rifles it through the uprights.
Yeah, they could have had her throw it from about 10 yards further away than that. I've never seen that before.
That was a cannon. She should have been the senior powder puff quarterback with that throw.
Deer Lakes out on offense. They've got the ball at the 31-yard line. 9:22 left to go in the third quarter. North Catholic leads 27-0. And, almost a diving interception by Prentice. That was a forward pass. Incomplete pass there. That's the first time we've seen their quarterback keep it and act like he was going to run it.
Yeah, you hear about the old school triple option offense, and in this day and age with spreads, that's kind of the new version of it. You have that first read is the hold, the second read is that short little flip out pass, and then the third read is the quarterback keep. We've seen actually on Kyle Topinski's long touchdown, that was basically the same exact play. That read, see if there's that opening, and flip it out to the receiver if he's not covered. So Deer Lake's kind of dealing with that heavy pass rush, their own way, trying to get people out in space, open up some lanes for them.
Derek Burke has been in the shotgun for much of the night. He's there now with 4 wide receivers, but they run the ball, and there is a flag thrown in the area of, I would say, holding probably, Darren.
Yeah, it looks like it might be. And it looks like North Catholic is going to accept the penalty and send him back and turn it into 2nd and 20 instead of a 3rd and 10.
Deer Lakes already has a tough task against this North Catholic defense, just making it harder there with a holding penalty. Do you know what a lancer is, Darren?
Is that a person of a medieval ilk that uses a lance? That is my only guess.
I love that you use the word ilk. Yeah, yes, it is someone who's using a lance. They're jousting. Deer Lakes Park has a wonderful disc golf course that I've played at a lot, and to get there, you have to drive past the high school. And they have a big sign out front their high school with somebody on a horse jousting.
Nice.
And he's
Sean,
a
do you
lancer
know that
because he carries a
jousting is the
lance.
official state sport of Maryland?
Is it really?
I am pretty sure I read that somewhere in a book.
That's
maybe
a wonderful fun fact.
Maybe a quick Google search will confirm that.
And they're going to go deep. They're throwing against Liam Straub. Wow, that's a great catch by Ryan Cochran, sophomore wide receiver for Deer Lakes.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do there. You know, they did a short one-step, heave it up. You know, Liam Straub, great positioning. Body was in between the receiver. You know, he just kind of got mossed by the receiver. Great play by number 6.
Yeah, they both had it was basically a jump ball between the Straub and Cochran, and Cochran run that jump ball. So Deer Lakes, there's a first down for you against a non-prevent defense, Darren. And another deep ball, and this time it is a little bit too far. And again, Straub was in good position on that play.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the most successful offensive play they've had. So why not try it again? It's the only time they're getting chunk plays.
Jousting was the official sport of Maryland in 1962. That seems really old for them to adopt that sport, although the Google tells me that they were also the first state to adopt an official sport. I wonder if Pennsylvania has an official sport. Does it have to be an obscure sport, or can it be like one of the professional sports? Deer Lakes hands the ball off, and it is Scarantine running hard up the middle. Straub throws somebody down towards the end of the play. No flag coming in, thankfully. 3rd and 7 or 8. Pennsylvania, it looks like, does not have an official sport. Colorado has an official sport of pack burro racing. Like, how do you decide that is your official sport? That is very strange.
The pack burro is very versatile in those Colorado Rockies, so it does have a little bit of sense there.
What is a pack burro?
I think it's a donkey.
Yeah.
Very close to donkey.
Yeah, that was going to be my
I think it's what
guess
takes
as
you down to
well.
the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, then it should be the official sport of Arizona. And pressure again. Primrose is going to get just enough on the quarterback to bring him down behind midfield. And once again, the Deer Lakes drive stalls around midfield.
Yeah, once again, that heavy pass rush. I mean, the only pass plays that have worked for Deer Lakes are pretty much, catch, take a step and throw, either whether it be a short out or that deep shot down the field. So it really kind of appears that they're kind of limited in the passing game of what they could do. Like we mentioned earlier, with that pass rush, it kind of takes out of it. Now we're going for a 4th and long. So
4th and 14. Deer Lakes is going to go for it, and there's going to be an offside, I think, on North Catholic.
It almost looked like they were going to go for a timeout, and that got Daniel Long the jump.
Daniel Long, you'll rarely see this. Daniel Long is coming off the field.
Yeah, it looks like maybe it's a little bit of a punishment for that jump. You got to have discipline, and if you're going to make mistakes, you got to learn from them. So Julian King comes onto the field for him.
Derek Burke looks to the sideline to get the play.
Oh, looks like a pooch punt coming.
Yeah, great call, Darren. That's what it is. And it's a pretty good kick. Camedy is back there, and he's going to get the ball at the 2 or 3 yard line and be tackled way back there.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have let that roll into the end zone.
I mean, that's the reason of the pooch punt. You don't have your usual returners that are used to kind of gauging where they are in the field. Camedy probably would have been better off letting that bounce, but he had faith in his athletic abilities, tried to make a play. But sometimes it's better to live to fight for another day.
I mean, how could you not return that as Camedy, who he doesn't play much on offense? The ball's just sitting there in the air. That took such a high, slow bounce. You can't really blame him for grabbing the ball
it was
and trying
actually
to
just a
make
great
play.
bounce because you put that guy who's deep in a predicament. You trust it to get into the end zone before the other team can run down and down it. Is it going to bounce again in there? So sometimes maybe he felt safer just making sure it didn't get hopefully down at the one.
Prentice under center this time. Maybe he's going to do a QB sneak this time to get a little bit of extra room. Nope, he's going to turn around and hand it off to Topinski. Topinski's got a little bit of room, getting to the outside, bowling people over near the sideline, and he's out to the 20-yard line. First down, Trojans.
Once again, and that's the nice thing now about having that extra wrinkle of being under center in the offense. You can be backed up. Your quarterback now doesn't have to stand in the end zone. You have your running back moving forward when receiving the ball. It makes it a little easier to fall forward to give yourself some extra breathing room. So great job by the offensive line there to create that hole and really get their backs from away from the end zone.
Yeah, I love that they've added this wrinkle to the offense. I think this will pay dividends for them in the playoffs. Topinski gets the ball again, and two people really take out his legs, but he falls forward for 2 yards.
And that doesn't seem like much, but that's a smart run by Topinski. You need to do that sometimes. Sometimes there's not always going to be a big play. And it's better to make it into a 2nd and 8 than a 3rd and 10 by dancing around, or a 3rd and 12 by trying to do more than you need to do. So very smart run, a mature run by Kyle Topinski.
Yeah, maybe in previous years we would have seen him slow down, try to break that to the outside, get no gain. There he just takes the 2 yards, gives North Catholic a 2nd 8. Prentice started in the shotgun. Now he's under center. Topinski behind him. Gets the snap. Play action. Prentice rolling to his right. He was under pressure there. Tried to throw it to some open space for Daniel Long, but well defensed by the Lancers that time.
Yep, a little bootleg action there. Try to get Joey Prentice in some space. Good defense by the Lancers, forcing that quick throw.
He unfortunately bootlegged right into the pressure that time.
Yeah, sometimes that happens with bootlegs. You're really kind of anticipating that play action movement to really pull that defender in. Sometimes you leave him unblocked even. They call that a naked bootleg because with the hopes of the play action movement, you have some space. But if he doesn't bite on that, you have a defender unblocked in your quarterback's face.
3rd and 8. Prentice this time in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers, 3 to his right, and that's where he's going to roll. Prentice plants his feet, heaves it downfield. Straub is there, and Straub, I don't think the Deer Lakes defender had any idea where that ball was, and Straub couldn't quite catch it, though. He got one hand on it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the curl route open up, but Prentice decided to take a shot down the field, and I think if he just could get a little extra mustard on that ball, you might have a big play to Liam Straub there.
And North Catholic will punt for the first time tonight. And it looks like it is Seamus Straub punting. I wonder if something is wrong with Daniel's kicking leg. And Straub, left-footed, boots it to about the 50. It's going to take a nice North Catholic roll, almost hits a Deer Lakes player, and goes down to about the 35-yard line. And that's where the Lancers will take over with 5:47 left in the 3rd quarter.
Sean, that's the first drive I've really seen in a while from North Catholic that hasn't had a big negative play or a penalty that really has been stymied. And in a strange way, it's kind of promising because you'd rather see drives stall because of being overly aggressive rather than making mistakes. So that's maybe something to look out for as we move on through this game.
Swing pass, ball's deflected, and if Prentice had turned around in the right direction quick enough, we could have seen another North Catholic defensive touchdown. Something in our game notes that we haven't said yet in praise of the defense is that the North Catholic defense has scored just as many touchdowns as it has allowed this year. The defense has allowed 3 touchdowns. There's been a 70-yard fumble return by Robbie Kress, and interception returns by Kyle Topinski and Tyler Maziars. that is a really impressive statistic.
I'm not sure if they missed a touchdown or mislabeled it, because Mitch Landflower definitely also had a pick six at the game at J.C. Stone. So I'm not sure if they got confused on who it was or they just forgot about that one as well. So
yeah, I wasn't here for the Cress or the Maziar's touchdowns as Deer Lakes takes another shot deep down the field. But this time, not only is Straub there, Camedy is there as well. No chance on that one for the Lancers.
Yeah, I mean, if you're attacking that deep throw, you're going to start having safety start to shade over a little bit to give it a little extra help over the top. So, I mean, we see that there with Camedy kind of floating over to create kind of that 2-on-1 battle for that deep pass.
And a lot of the defensive stats we're giving you is from an article by Chris Harlan that we were able to pull. That's given us a lot of really fun facts to talk about with the North Catholic defense tonight, and they have lived up to their billing with a 27-0 lead. Screen pass from Deer Lakes, and almost broken tackle, but to your point that you made in the first half, the first people to hit the runner, Straub and Primrose, bring him down. No extra yardage for Deer Lakes.
And that's really important for what Deer Lakes is doing right now. I mean, obviously, the traditional pass game is hit or miss with them with the long throw or the short throw. So they're really going to try to utilize some screens to kind of take advantage of that aggressive North Catholic pass rush, get them running upfield and kind of create some extra space. So if a guy misses a tackle on a screen, you might have 2-3 linemen for one guy, defender downfield. So it's important if you're tracing back or get through your blocks to come through with that.
Deer Lakes will punt again. This one is going to be deep enough for Fennell to get it. Fennell is going to try to run to the outside. He's got a little bit of room, and he's got some room on the outside, but now he runs out of room once he gets up to about the 50-yard line. That's going to be about a 20-25-yard punt return by Fennell. Good job.
But a flag on the play.
Every time we get a big return, there's a flag. That's probably not a coincidence.
I mean, that happens a lot at the high school level. I mean, sometimes, you know, it's a hair between a block in the back and a clean block. So a lot of the times you're trying to make that play, open up them lanes. A lot of guys with a big running start, you know, guys trying to hold on to their blocks. You see a lot of penalties on those special teams plays.
4:44, third quarter, 27-0 North Catholic. The Trojans are going for their 6th shutout of the season in 8 games. No other team, I think, has more than 3. And North Catholic has had 5 so far.
And, you know, and that's so hard to do. I mean, we've seen in some of the games we have, you know, a broken tackle here or there, and a guy's off the races. So to not only, you know, stop sustained drives, but to stop big plays, it's so hard. I mean, you don't see a whole lot of shutouts at any level of football anymore. You know, offenses are so refined and coaches are so smart, but it really is kudos to the defensive coaches and the players out there putting in that effort.
High snap. Prentice is able to pick it up, and he's going to run with it. He's got one guy to beat on the outside. He beats him. He's got up to the 20, stops at the 25, and tiptoes out of bounds. Somebody dives past him.
Yeah, that was making something out of nothing. You know, another rough play out there that could have went way worse. And honestly, I think with Prentice, he possibly had a chance for a big play there, because I saw some receivers starting to kind of come open. If they just would have broke for it, there was no one around. Everyone was kind of focused on trying to run down Joey Prentice.
It's 2nd and 1. He ran so far on that play, I could have sworn he was going to get a first down. But instead, it's 2nd and 1. Prentice is going to be in the shotgun with Topinski in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. He's going to pull it and throw it a little wide of Fennell, and it'll be 3rd and 1.
So once again, getting your athlete in space, trying to create a one-on-one matchup you like to see. I mean, really at the end of the day, that's all football is trying to get a matchup, a one-on-one matchup that you think you could win. You know, all the scheming, all the different plays, whether it be, you know, a power set or a spread offense or a screen or a run up the middle, it's trying to get a matchup you think you could win. So, and then that's what we had right there. I mean, a lot of people can't catch up to Jack Fennell, so getting him, drawing people with the play action and a quick pass is a good idea to have.
2 people in the backfield this time. It's Long and Topinski. Topinski's going to run behind Long, and he's got a huge hole. Nice tackle by, I think that was Seth Shuba. Good tackle.
You know, that's a formation I'd love to see more of. I love, you know, kind of that modified, you know, 2-back offense, you know, having Daniel Long, instead of, you know, being at the line, getting a nice running start to just blow people up and really have Big Tyler Topinski follow him. I think, you know, maybe they're trying to save it a little bit for some bigger games, but just looking at that, I think it'd be very hard to stop having those two big bodies coming with the running start.
You've talked a lot about getting your most athletic players who can make big plays, get them the ball in space. You also want to use your best blocking players in ways that use their talents the best. And Daniel Long, we could see more of those plays as Long picks up a pass and does his normal stumble for 10 yards, and he gets a first down, I think.
Yep, and another good play there, kind of the same play we saw earlier today, a little slip through the offensive line by the tight end. But to build off your point, yes, you want to put your best offensive players on your team. Usually, the three big ones are the tackles and the centers. So this is why you see guys move from tackle to center every year, depending on your offensive coordinator, your offensive philosophy, and a coach's preference. But a lot of times you see usually your best offensive player, as a blocker, go to that left tackle spot.
And there, Topinski follows Long again, and he gets up over the 40-yard line to about the 38 or 39, close to another first down.
Yeah, once again, you're seeing a lot of classic power runs here, and Topinski seems real fired up by something about that play.
It takes so many people to tackle him that I imagine he's unhappy sometimes with probably how he gets tackled. Maybe that was the case there. You mentioned this earlier in the first half, but Topinski might wear down defenses, and they're, I think, giving Deer Lakes a much heavier dose of Kyle Topinski running the football here in the second half. He's in the backfield with Prentice, three wide receivers, Maziarz, Straub, and Fennel, I think. Topinski up the middle again. He's got a huge hole. He sprints up the middle, 10-5, touchdown, Kyle Topinski.
Yeah, that right there, that's what I'm talking about, wearing down. You just saw that he broke one tackle, and you really didn't see a big wave of Deer Lake defenders rushing to be the next guy up. I mean, great blocking by the offensive line, opening that hole like the Red Sea. But Kyle Topinski takes advantage of that hole and brings it home. And that's the thing about this North Catholic offense, too, that I didn't mention. We talk about versatility and guys playing multiple positions. If you're a defensive coordinator up in the booth, you're looking at the personnel and you see Jack Fennel and Kyle Topinski, and you might have different looks that you want, but you don't know how they're going to line up. I mean, maybe you might see a power set you can assume Topinski's going to be in there, but at a regular shotgun set, you don't know who the back's going to be.
And as Darren was explaining how many options North Catholic has, North Catholic goes for the two-point conversion. Prentice keeps it himself, runs it easily into the end zone, and North Catholic is up 35-0, and that means that we are going to have, I believe, a running clock once Deer Lakes gets the ball back.
I believe so. And one thing I want to see as we move forward, I'm curious to see if Kyle Topinski used as a running back. If this is a one-game thing, because obviously Chase Arrington, who also takes a fair amount of carries, is not playing today, or was this kind of a plan all along? Maybe save him from the abuse of those early seasons. As time gets tighter, as we get to the playoffs, have him be more fresh as he goes in if he needs to carry a little bit more of the load. Maybe use Arrington and Fennel a little bit more early on, and then when time comes, you're in those WPO playoff games, you have that big back. So now you have kind of a three-headed monster, and they're all feeling kind of fresh, which is what you want because, these are high school players. Constant hits will wear you down over the year. So I'm kind of curious to see, is this a byproduct of the Arrington injury, or is this kind of the plan all along is to incorporate him more and make sure the ball gets in his hands later in the year?
I think that they have used him even earlier in the season in the close games towards the end. When they didn't want to fumble the ball, when they wanted to have clean plays against Blackhawk at the end, they gave it to Topinski. He ran the ball a lot against East Allegheny as Deer Lakes gets a short kick and runs it over the 30-yard line. So I think Topinski at running back, even though he started at wide receiver, I think that maybe has been a plan all along.
And let's not forget, he was the feature back last year. I mean, Jack Fennel, for the most part, was used as a slot receiver, kind of little gadgety screen guy using that speed. And then this year we kind of have that flip-flopping where we put Kyle Topinski in the slot. I'm not sure if that was just to diversify their offense, make it harder to game plan against. Because you see a big guy like that with the speed, you think put the ball in his hands as A to B as quickly and as efficiently as possible, take kind of the unknown of a pass out of there. But right now, having three good running backs is any problem a coach would love to have.
Deer Lakes getting back on offense. As usual, a bunch of Trojans in the backfield. The first one was Seamus Straub, who blew up that play and allowed his teammates to make a tackle for about 2 yards, actually. We are winding down here in the third quarter. Under a minute and a half now. North Catholic up 35-0. And the fourth quarter will probably go fairly quickly as we have a running clock now with North Catholic up by 5 touchdowns on Deer Lakes. Burke in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers, but he's going to hand it off. And the Deer Lakes running back has nowhere to go. That was number 3, Colton Bach.
You know, we've also mentioned this earlier in the year, but this, you know, so much of this defense goes with the linebackers. And the main duo of the inside linebackers of Seamus Straub and Kyle Topinski might be the best duo we've ever had. I mean, Seamus Straub, you know, multiple-year starter, very comfortable. Kyle Topinski's kind of bounced around on the defensive side. He's played some end, you know, played some, you know, I think a little bit outside linebacker, but shifting him inside, having, you know, an athlete like that could kind of range from inside, and also having, you know, kind of a savvy, you know, powerful player like Seamus Straub side by side, I think is very beneficial for this defense.
And it looks like they're giving Kyle a little bit of a break here. Daniel Franco, number 20, is in there at middle linebacker as well.
There was a terribly missed false start, but I guess they're just trying to keep it moving here, Sean.
And that's going to make it 4th down. Deer Lakes went for it earlier on a 4th and long, so you would think they'd go for it on 4th and 3 here. But we're going to find out if they go for it when we get to the fourth quarter, as the third quarter ends with North Catholic up 35-0. They were up 21-0 at the end of the first half. In that first half, Jack Fennell had 2 touchdowns, one a 44-yard touchdown run, another a 19-yard touchdown pass. In the third quarter, Mitch Landthaler had a 78-yard blocked field goal return for a touchdown at 9:22 of the quarter, and Topinski had a 38-yard touchdown run at 2:39 of the third quarter. So both Topinski and Fennell each have 2 touchdowns. So that's 4 of the 5 touchdowns that get North Catholic out to their 35-0 lead. North Catholic really closed well in that quarter. It almost makes you forget that on their first offensive possession, they had a botched handoff between Prentice and Topinski that gave Deer Lakes the ball inside the 20-yard line. But then they had the blocked field goal return for a touchdown after that, so it was almost a moot point.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I'm kind of going under the assumption that there's a very good chance this may be the last possession for the first team defense on the field, and it might be the very last possession, the next possession for the offense. You think you might start seeing some young guys here with a running clock. The game seems, you know, pretty much in hand. You want to try to keep your starters healthy as we get closer and closer to the WPIL playoffs.
Yeah, that's a great point, Darren. The starters want to get off the field here on this 4th down, and we might not see a lot of the first team defenders after this. Deer Lakes is going to throw it. And it's a first down with a lot of room to run for, I think, the tight end for Deer Lakes. That's going to be number 45, Jake Timmons.
Kind of an interesting play call if you really pay attention to it. The quarterback took a couple steps back, looked like it was going to be another pooch punt. That really started driving the safeties back and kind of, you know, making North Catholic think, you know, another pooch punt's coming. They kind of just took that little tight end and put him across the formation with that extra space they gained with that. So kind of building off that pooch punt they had earlier in the game.
Well, I also thought they were going to punt that ball. That play just was very slow developing, but good play call by Deer Lakes. They get a first down. They are 4th of the game. And throwing to the sideline, diving for the ball was Ryan Cochran. It's incomplete, but the clock still runs. We're under 11 minutes now in the fourth quarter. On the sideline, just to our right on the track, a lot of the senior cheerleaders said their favorite thing to do at the games was rocking the boat. Is that what you do with the other team's cheerleaders and the Deer Lakes cheerleaders, North Catholic cheerleaders?
Yeah,
right
it's
to
always
our right?
it's a real nice show of sportsmanship having the 2 squads together. So always nice to see.
And Deer Lakes runs the ball up the middle with Bach. He's met quickly for a short gain, and it's going to be 3rd and 8 or 9.
So let's see if Deer Lakes is kind of in that stage of the game where they're just trying to build confidence, maybe run a couple of their, bread and butter plays, see if they get some success off that, or if they're still trying to put some points on the board.
A quick pass, wide receiver screen out to Cochran, but it's dropped, and that brings up 4th and 8.
And it looks like the punting team's coming back onto the field.
And that is correct, Aaron. The punting team is on the field. North Catholic, first team defense, maybe the last time we see them tonight, and they have pitched yet another shutout. They have allowed points in only 3 quarters this year, I think. That's pretty incredible. And it's a very, very short punt. Everybody's got to get away. It doesn't hit anybody in North Catholic, and North Catholic's going to get okay field position at about the 42-yard line.
I mean, with a punt like that, they probably would have been better served just trying to go for it.
Yes, that's true. That was maybe a net punt of 3 yards, 4 yards.
Yeah, that's not going to help the average.
And their punter has done a decent job tonight for the most part.
I mean, that's the thing about high school sports. It's the general lack of consistency. You'll see someone do something great, then they have a 3-yard punt.
As Zaire Williams, who's been punting for them, he's only a freshman that they have out there punting. Jason Sickett is in at quarterback.
It also appears there's only 4 linemen on the field. You're allowed to play with 5, Sean.
Seamus Straub maybe thought he was done for the night, but it looks like they do have the starting line out there. Kyle Topinski is still in the backfield as well. And there's a high snap. Snicket is just going to be able to fall on it back at the 31-yard line.
I mean, that was a little high, but I think that was fieldable. And I think that right now in this drive, they're giving a little peer at the future. They don't want to send Sickett out there against Deer Lake's first team with just their JV line and JV weapons. They want to see what this kid could do with the first team line blocking for him, some weapons around him. Kind of give a better look at him than having those younger guys in there with him.
He gets that snap. He hands it to Topinski. Topinski has some room to run, and it takes a couple people to bring him down just past the 40-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and short.
I mean, if I'm a betting man here, I'm thinking there's going to be a little bit of a shot here. Let's see Sickett throw the ball. Let's test this young man, see what he could bring to the table.
I said 3rd and short, but that was just to get back to the down marker. I had forgotten about the snap over Sickett's head. It's actually 3rd and about 11. And I would like to see Sickett take a shot here, throw the ball down the field. Instead, he hands it to Fennell. Fennell runs into a couple of defenders right away. He's going nowhere. It's going to be 4th down, and you would think that North Catholic will punt it away here.
Okay, in that case, though, Coach O'Shea doing the classy thing, not trying to really run up the score. I mean, yes, we want to see Sickett throw the ball, kind of test the young man. But, in this stage of the game, running clock, let's not try to run up the score. And we see that with that quick handoff there. Sean, I'm a proud University of Mount Union alum, and they've been known to, dial up the 56-0 games quite often. And one thing I've seen in the past is the team literally taking 3 knees and then just punting it to kind of end that. I don't think we're at this level here, but still.
A low snap, but Straub fields it, and his kick is just off the side of his foot. Goes just inside the 40-yard line of Deer Lakes. So Deer Lakes is going to get decent field position on the 39-yard line, and the clock continues to run. We're at about 6 minutes now left in the 4th quarter. North Catholic, I guess the only thing left to decide in this game is, will the Trojans pitch another shutout?
Yeah, and it looks like the first team defense is out there, so it looks like Coach O'Shea is trying to preserve that shutout streak, get that point per game total maybe back down to under 3.
Our producer up here, Mr. John Hoffman, gave me a dirty look when I said that we're seeing if North Catholic can get the shutout. That is kind of a classic jinx in a lot of sports, like no-hitters for pitchers, shutouts for goalie in hockey. I haven't really heard it applied to football, so hopefully I didn't just jinx our defense. They can make a good stand here. Deer Lakes has their backup quarterback in. That's going to be number 8, Nate Ryan.
He has very shiny shoes. I've noticed that, Sean. Very metallic gold.
Some good eyes from up here. I would never have noticed.
The light catches
him.
The light catches him, Sean. You have to admit they do.
Yeah, he does have very shiny, like bronze, gold
believe
shoes.
They're Under Armours. Believe they're Under Armour shoes.
Is Under Armour into the flashy shoe colors?
They have some flashy metallics, I believe.
And he's going to be under pressure, and he throws the ball. He's being tackled.
Shades of Big Ben there, just getting rid of it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He had somebody hugging his waist, and Nate Ryan was able to throw the ball away. Now North Catholic is trotting out a lot of their backup defensive players. Tyler Maziar's senior cornerback wide receiver who's had a good game tonight, long catch on offense, is jogging off the field. 3rd and 8. 4 wide receivers for Deer Lakes, and they are just going to run the ball. A little bit of room for their running back, and he's going to get a first down, tackled by Sickett. I think he's right at midfield.
Yeah, the backup defensive line had good penetration there. It's just a little bit of a lane that the running back found to move the chains there.
Dante Prentice, freshman, is at nose tackle, and he's subbed in on the first team defense. So he
comes from a long line of North Catholic football there.
Yes, 3 apprentices, including senior quarterback brother Joey. And I believe the oldest of them was Dom Prentice.
I think there's one even older than that. I'm not sure if he played football or not. So I want to say there's 4 brothers.
Second and 9, under 4 minutes now. Clock ticking down quickly now that we're in the mercy rule. North Catholic up by 5 touchdowns. After Darren and I finish wrapping up the game, we're going to send you down to the field where Ryan Barry is going to have Joey Prentice, North Catholic's quarterback, for a post-game interview. Nate Ryan fields the snap, hands off, and that Deer Lakes running back is met very quickly for a short gain.
I mean, you love to see that even the young guys getting in there, some of the second teamers still, having that penetration at the point of attack. That's always a good feeling to have that, if they're doing that, as these guys progress, you'll see that as they get older and get eventually work into those varsity reps. Like we talked about, Lucius Marbella worked his way into varsity reps. So
3rd down for Deer Lakes. Ryan is looking to throw. He throws it to the sideline. Pass is complete, and it is just short of a first down, I believe, tackled by Daniel Franco.
Looks like about a yard short.
You would figure they're going to go for it here with about 2 minutes left.
And Deer Lakes going for its second 2 first down drive.
Yes, that is correct. They have 5 on the night, I believe, now, trying for 6.
But only once back-to-back.
Here it is. Ryan is under pressure immediately. He throws it low. It's going to be incomplete. And North Catholic JV defense makes it stand, preserving the shutout almost certainly with a running clock and 1:30 left. North Catholic is going to trot out its offense, and you would figure that's going to consist of probably a couple kneel downs and then the end of this game.
Looks like some sort of clock stoppage happening. Timeout, North Catholic. So obviously taking the timeout, make sure you got, when you have these change of personnels from first team to second team, make sure you got your 5 linemen, your skilled players. You have 11 on the field. Kind of tell them what's going to happen next.
Some of the North Catholic seniors, helmets off on the sideline, talking to each other, talking to people in the stands. We also see Carson Laconi out there, who dressed tonight, even though he has not played in this game.
Yeah,
he's been injured all year, and we may get to see him back for the playoffs, hopefully in a couple weeks.
Yeah, talking to him, broken collarbone, he says he's on track by the playoffs to be back, and that's going to be a huge help. Not only, does he help on the defensive side of the ball as a wide receiver, but he also provides quarterback depth. With Joey Prentice kind of, nursing an ankle throughout the year, one kind of twist away from being on the bench, so having, senior leadership at that position, to possibly go to if you need it is a nice thing to have.
Jason Sickett, only a sophomore, but he has played well this year. He started and won a game in the Blackhawk game, I believe. He was in for much of the second half and did a capable job of preserving the lead in that game. Sickett hands it off to Franco. Franco bulldozes his way up the middle for about 8 yards to midfield. And as we go under a minute, maybe we should start recapping what's happened here. North Catholic, 5 touchdowns, 2 of them by Kyle Topinski, 1 on the ground, 1 in the air, 2 by Jack Fennell, with the same distribution as Topinski, 1 on the ground, 1 in the air, and then a 78-yard blocked field goal touchdown by Mitch Landthaler. That's how we got to 35-0. Marsico had 3 successful PATs. There was a missed point after attempt, missed 2-point conversion off a high snap, and then Prentice took in a successful 2-point conversion, and that may have been our last play as we're under 30 seconds. What are your takeaways from this game, Darren?
Just another dominant defensive effort. You know, it's a beautiful thing when you have scheme come together with execution. And the one thing, you know, Coach O'Shea mentioned, he says he has like 18 starters on defense because the multiple fronts. So you're really able to like kind of mix and match what you need out there. Do you need a 4-man front? Do you need a 3-man front? And it really makes it difficult for offenses, you know, to kind of deal with that. If you know a team struggles with more of a 4-man front, you can utilize that. If they struggle with more speed on the field with a 3-man front, you could utilize that. And it was really nice to see that on the defensive side of the ball, continued dominance, and now some big plays on the offensive side of the ball.
Jason Sickett gets about a 1-yard run on a quarterback keeper, runs it out of bounds, but that doesn't stop the clock since it's the mercy rule. We are done. It's 35-0 North Catholic. Our next football broadcast is going to be Friday, October 29th, from right here at the Mars Athletic Complex. The Trojans will meet up with Derry area in another Allegheny 7 matchup to close out the regular season. Catch the Trojan Game Day show starting at 6:40 p.m. with kickoff scheduled for 7 p.m. You can catch all that action right here on the North Catholic Sports Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. We've been talking about the great defense all game, so just to give you a statistics update, North Catholic has now allowed 31 points on the year, and that is over 8 games, so they are under 4 points a game.
And let's not forget, once again, they've only given up 14 points in AAA games in their own division. So we're getting really close to
we're under 2 points
under
a game
2 points
now.
a game at the AAA level. You know, that's some historic defense. You know, that's something the defensive coaches, Coach O'Shea, the defensive players really have to hang their hat on, and it's impressive too. You're just watching constant rush, great coverage. It's honestly one of the best defensive efforts I've seen while watching college football, high school football, maybe since Thomas Jefferson's pointless streak, like I think a 6-game pointless streak back in 2006.
Yeah, how long has it been since North Catholic has given up a point now? This is the 3rd consecutive shutout for North Catholic. They have not given up any points since the very end of the first half against East Allegheny. So this is now 14 consecutive scoreless quarters. And it looks like Joey Prentice is going to be interviewed by Ryan Berry now on the field. So we're going to send it down to Ryan.
I'm down on the field with Joey Prentice after the North win tonight. Joey, you guys started a little bit slow. How were you guys able to get some momentum and get some scores?
You know, we've been starting off slow for the past few weeks, and that was just one of the things that we wanted to get over. And, you know, we came out a little slow. It's all right. It happens. But we came back and we brought that power, and we brought the team, and our line started coming out, and we made some plays. So.
The defense came up big numerous times throughout the game. Can you talk about how big they've been throughout the season and in this game?
Yeah, I think defense is a really big part of our team now, and it has been always. And we've always had a really great defense, but I think this year it's really big for us. Yeah,
how big is
definitely.
it to get this win on senior night?
Oh, it feels amazing. You know, it's crazy. You know, it's my 4th year already. You know, I've been playing with these kids for 4 years, so I mean, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Lastly, what kind of momentum does this give you going into the rest of the season?
I mean, Deer Lakes, they're one of the better teams in our section, so I mean, it's great momentum. You know, it's great to know that we beat one of the teams that beat everybody else, and so yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Joey, for your
Thank
time.
you.
Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And thank you to Ryan Berry and Joey Prentice for that interview. North Catholic I was right, 14 scoreless quarters in a row. That's really impressive. Big game next week for the Trojans as they go out to Freeport. So we'll see if the North Catholic
if you're looking at the schedule, it effectively kind of comes out to be the conference championship game. I mean, you know, assuming that we think the end result against Derry will be what we expect.
Yeah, so next week, big game for the Trojans, the de facto conference championship game against Freeport. We will be back in 2 weeks with Derry. And the next broadcast, though, is actually going to be girls volleyball on Tuesday, probably with Alex and Ryan doing girls volleyball senior night. So we hope you turn into that game. For myself, Sean Malone, Darren Lyles, Ryan Berry, and Alex Brown signing off now. Have a great night, everybody.
This game and the stream broadcast rights to this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the North Catholic Sports Network audience. Any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent of the WPIAL is prohibited.